is Carlin on 98.7 ESPN.
There is one big loser in this whole Nets mess. It's Carlin with you at 98.7 ESPN at 800-919-3776. Also over on Twitter, it's at Chris Carlin. On Instagram, that guy Carlin as well. The video stream up and running on my Twitter and on ESPN New York 98.7's Twitter, as well as on ESPN New York's Facebook page. You can find it an awful lot of places, and I would encourage you to do so, because PJ Mullen has got our production values up, and just rising by the day. So much to get into in regards to the Knicks and the trade deadline approaching, and really where this is all headed, because there are big questions and how badly this whole situation was misconstrued. But we start tonight in an unusual spot, and that is with the Brooklyn Nets. And that is quite simply because Kevin Durant is the biggest loser in this entire mess with James Harden. It appears as if James Harden is going to get traded. That's not all that surprising at the moment. And it's surprising that it came to this in a little bit over a calendar year. But if you look at what's transpired over the last week, he has looked like somebody that has had no interest in being here whatsoever. So with that being the case, he has really established himself as a two-time quitter. He has quit on the Nets the last couple of weeks. We're hearing about the hamstring injury, and I'm sorry, the more I hear about these kind of things in the league, the less I buy into them when you look at what happened on the West Coast road trip and how disinterested he appeared to be at times. And he is just screaming, as Brian Windhorst has put it, to try to get out of town right now and to get to Philadelphia. And remember, maybe that's where he initially wanted to be last year. It was just that Tillman Fertitta did not want to trade him away to Daryl Morey. And that was understandable. But he ended up in Brooklyn. He ended up with Kevin Durant, and he ended up with Kyrie Irving. And now he very well may end up an hour and a half down the turnpike playing with Joel Embiid and having a real chance at a championship. I have to tell you, the way he's handled himself, like the fact that he turned down the extension last offseason, we all just took as a foregone conclusion that he was just simply trying to get more money, as it would be more favorable to him to wait until this offseason. But that's not the case. It's not the case. So think about the fact that you're Kevin Durant for a moment. And nobody's crying for you. Don't get me wrong. Let's just put the money aside. And I know that's often impossible to do. You're Kevin Durant. You left Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in Golden State, the absolute perfect situation in the NBA, to come to Brooklyn, to be listening to Kyrie Irving, who has some sort of Svengali effect over you. And you decide you want to hitch yourself to that wagon, or hitch your wagon to that dude, whatever it is. You handcuffed yourself to him, and they then orchestrated to help get Harden here. And within a year, this is completely blown up in your face. You have Irving, who takes time off when he wants to, who has not played half the season because of the whole COVID situation, and I applaud him for wanting to stand up for what he believes in, but let's just call it what it is. Basketball is not any sort of a priority to Kyrie Irving. It's just not. 86 games in 2.5 years. 86 games in 2.5 years that Durant has played. I mean, Durant came here and played didn't play for an entire season and got paid for it. The 86 games in 2.5 years for Kyrie. It's unreal. And now Harden can't get out of here quick enough. The three of them together have played just 16 games. And It's one of those stats that we all know because we've heard it so often. But just imagine being Durant here for a second. Your whole idea was to create your own super team, and what you've all just created is your own super dump. It is a complete landfill. That's what's gone on since you got here. You've won one playoff series, and I don't care that it's just a foot or a toe away from being in the conference finals last year. You weren't there. The team's win percentage since you got here is .565. That's nice. It's not what it's supposed to be. You have come out of this the biggest loser of all. And now you're going to end up with Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving. Talk about two guys that you're not going to be able to predict how they handle adversity or handle anything. And you've already signed an extension. But fear not. The Nets, who prepared for these kind of days to have these kinds of players for years, for 4 and 5 years, now will be moving on from Harden. And I predict within a year, Durant is going to want to force his way out of Brooklyn. Because it's not going to be any kind of a pathway to a championship. If you actually had an interested James Harden playing with an interested Kevin Durant, and you were able to bring over Ben Simmons and maybe ship out Irving, that's a championship type team, because Ben Simmons doesn't have to do anything other than what he does well, and that's all he's ever been interested in. But that's not happening. So you're going to bring in Irving with Simmons and Durant. Good luck. It's a losing formula. Kevin Durant is the one that orchestrated this whole thing from the get-go by listening to Kyrie Irving. Listen to Brian Windhorst on this whole Kevin Durant Kyrie Irving relationship.
For some reason, and I don't know why, Kyrie Irving is able to connect with Kevin Durant. I don't think that marriage makes sense to me. I frankly think, to put it bluntly, I think Durant could do better. But Kyrie and Kevin connect, and it connected, and Kyrie got him to Brooklyn. All of the other options he had, not just where to play, but who to play with. Kyrie won the Derby. You know, it's after the shot he hit in Game 7 in 2016. I would argue it's the greatest accomplishment of Kyrie's career, is getting Durant to really believe and trust in him. And that connection, that coupling, has survived this situation. Durant is aligned with Kyrie. He was aligned with Kyrie when he got there, and he remains aligned with Kyrie. And Harden is not.
Durant's a sucker. He's been had in this whole thing. You're going to listen to one of the most unpredictable players in the league in Kyrie Irving and hitch your wagon to him. And then you're going to work to bring in James Harden, who quit in Houston to get what he wanted, and now slightly over a year later has quit on the Nets to get what he wants, and that's to get traded to the Sixers. And you're going to end up with another guy who quit on his team because he couldn't handle criticism with Ben Simmons, and you're still stuck with Kyrie, who you don't know when he's going to be able to play home games. And frankly, you don't know how much he's going to prioritize basketball in his life anymore. My prediction, KD is going to be forcing his way out of New York within a year, because he's going to look at this and say, how the hell did I get into this mess? Money aside, and I'm sure that will help calm it down a little bit. Money aside, this will damage KD's legacy. 800-919-3776. Who is the biggest loser in all of this for the Nets if they do trade away Kevin Durant? That's what I want to know from you. Is it KD? Is it the Nets, who positioned themselves for all of this for years? We're talking about three of the best players in the sport, but three of the most mercurial players in the sport. Who is the biggest loser in all of this? because, frankly, there are a couple to choose from. Get on the lines right now. We're opening them up in just moments at 800-919-3776. Your take when we come back. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN.
It's Carlin.
That guy in a little coat. That guy in a little coat.
On 98.7 ESPN.
Online sports.
You are down, Chris.
You can make your first legal sports bet.
And
now
all
with
the
Bet
Net
Rivers
fans of the
Sportsbook.
tri-state
Bet
area
Rivers
are
is a
calling
full
us.
featured sports same game parlays.
Well,
Hey, maybe speaking too soon.
Get up to $250 in bonus cash.
Hurry up,
on
pick
your
'em up.
first deposit. Download the Bet.
because Gordon makes fun of this all the time. He's like, "Oh, the only 7 calls in all of New York City.
Gambling
7 fans of Brooklyn Nets."
778 Hope NY.
We actually got like Larry and Gordon when they filled in for you. They actually talked Nets for a good hour. I was surprised. We got some calls.
Ball in mega
Because Nets does not attract a lot.
players on Jack Pocket have now won over $100 million, and Jack Pocket is the top-ranked lottery app in the U.S.
How we doing,
Play anytime, anywhere.
PJ?
Doing good. Very good.
Powerball ticket.
Volume's great. Your mic sounds really good. Your lighting's good. Everything.
And wants help, call
Okay.
1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Visit jackpocket.com/TOS for free.
It's way better today.
A little bit of what?
In here too.
A little bit of what?
I said we had a little bit of a connection issue early on yesterday, but it was only the first like 20 minutes. But I don't know what it was. But
Okay.
You can easily find them online or over the counter at your local retailer. In just 10 minutes, you can get rapid results in the privacy of your own home. That's all it takes, 10 minutes. Plus, it detects Delta and other variants of COVID-19. Quick View at-home OTC COVID-19 test is proudly made in America. So go ahead, test before the game, after the game, when you don't feel well, or anytime you need to know your COVID-19 status. Testing is fast, easy, and affordable with Quick View at-home OTC COVID-19 test by Quidel. Together, we can defeat COVID-19. So come on, sports fans. What are you waiting for? Take 10 minutes, take charge, pick up a Quick View at-home OTC COVID-19 test today, and learn more at quickviewathome.com. For FDA emergency use authorization only.
Is your job going nowhere? It's a new year. Time for a new career in IT. My Computer Career has slashed tuition. So what are you waiting for? Attend classes day or night, live online from the comfort of your home. Hands-on learning and lifetime career services help you succeed. And you could start your career in months, not years, even with no experience. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
With Early Paycheck, you can get your direct deposit up to 2 days earlier. That's another reason banking with Capital One is the easiest decision ever. Even easier than deciding to open the biggest birthday gift first.
Happy birthday to you.
Which one are you going to open first?
The pony.
Yep, even easier than that. Plus, with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is banking with Capital One even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. No fees or minimums on new consumer accounts. Capital One and a member FDIC.
FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Rams and Bengals. To celebrate, new customers can bet $5 to win $280 in cash on either team to win when you use promo code Gordon when signing up. That's right. You'll get your winnings in cold, hard cash because they know cash is always better than free bets. One bet I'd be looking at, neither team to score on their opening drive. There's no better place to bet the Super Bowl than with FanDuel Sport. Promotions for new and existing customers, same game parlays, tons of Super Bowl props, and a whole lot more. Don't miss your chance to turn $5 into $280 in cash. Down.
Who do you trust, though, Chris? Is it Woj that Woj report?
I don't know. It's weird, right?
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
Owner roll. They're present in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $280.
Back here in 10.
Book.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY in New York, 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey, 1-888-789-7777 in Connecticut.
He is screaming in every way he possibly can, I don't want to be here, get me out of here, just like he did in Houston. And so what the real issue is here for the Nets is not the consequences of making this deal. It's the consequences of not making this deal. if they don't do this trade, what is James Harden going to do the rest of the season? And then, of course, what is he going to do when he becomes a free agent in the summer? That's what has spurred this into being. James Harden's basic feeling that I don't want to be here anymore.
How about that? That is Brian Windhorst earlier today. He and Woj not necessarily in agreement on whether or not this is going to go down. So this is very interesting over the next 24 hours. But I honestly, in less than 24 hours, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I honestly look at this and I talk to, different people. Nobody seems to have a great read on exactly what the Sixers are going to be able to give up or willing to give up in return, along with Ben Simmons, to get James Harden, because the Nets want Maxey, the Nets want Matisse Thybulle, and a draft pick. It's not going to be able to be all of that, but the Nets are going to have some leverage here. Well, if the Nets ever got Maxey out of it, it would help. But boy, as far as Kevin Durant's concerned, he is losing this whole situation, and it's not close. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. We will hit some of the tweets as well at Chris Carlin, including our friend Steve, who checks in on Twitter. No, I'm sorry, Joe Schick on Twitter, like a broken clock twice a day, a rare occasion on which you're absolutely correct. I'm feeling good about myself now. Estuardo in New Jersey will start us off tonight on 98.7 ESPN. Estuardo, what's up?
But thank you for the call, picking up. And I just want to talk about Harden and the Simmons, where they fit better. I think Harden is a ball stopper, and at times he slows down the ball with the Nets offense. Kyrie with Simmons, they can play off each other. Simmons and KD can play off each other. You don't need Simmons to shoot, and if you package Simmons with a Curry, you'll have your shooting. Hopefully you keep Harris and Mills, and I think it would work. Simmons fits a lot of the defensive problems that Harden is lacking, honestly.
Listen, Ben Simmons is an elite level defender. He is that good at it. He is an elite level distributor. He is somebody that can slash to the basket and he can rebound. He can do a lot of things well. And I understand that those are all very appealing. To me, if you had Harden along with him in that regard, it's a much better fit all the way around. Him and Kyrie along with Durant, I don't know about that. That does not feel like a championship formula, because who's going to be bringing the ball up and down the floor? Who's going to be controlling all of that? That's what I'd be very curious about.
Well, if I can counter, I think Simmons does that currently. I mean, did that for Philly and does it just as effectively. Now, the problem with having Harden and Simmons is now you're going to have one less shooter out there. So that's kind of...
Well, this is what I'm saying, I would rather have, like, if I could ever convince them to take Kyrie instead,
right,
then to me, that would be a much better fit for the Nets all the way around. I think if you put Simmons on the team with Harden and Durant, you could wrap up a championship, to tell you the truth. And I don't even like Ben Simmons that much.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I think he fits what the Nets need as far as the defensive side. If you really watch Nets, Harden, he slacks. And Simmons is youthful, has those fresh legs.
Yeah, here's the problem, though, with Simmons. There's a problem with Simmons, and thanks for the call. All the skills in there, okay? He's not a winner. Ben Simmons is not a winner. Ben Simmons is not going to do everything he needs to do to win games. He's just not. And look at what's gone on this year. Is all of a sudden his mental health going to improve drastically if he ends up playing in Brooklyn than Philadelphia? I mean, it just looks like he has been completely unable and uninterested in trying to handle any kind of adversity. And frankly, I mean, for James Harden, you're very close to the same situation. This guy's trying to force his way out by quitting on his team. Nick in Hicksville is next on 98.7 ESPN. Nick, good evening. How are you?
Hey, thank you so much. Big fan. I just want to say the Ben Simmons, I don't know how great that would be. I do agree with if you had Kyrie go to Philly, it might work out a little better, but Harden is kind of like a stepping stone Brooklyn for him. It never really panned out. But I just wanted to say, if this trade goes through and these three, the farthest they got was an Eastern Conference Finals, I don't want to hear anything about super teams like LeBron, buying a chip or teaming up with the best players.
They haven't even gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals. They've won one round.
They didn't even get to the conference finals.
No, they lost last year in the second round to the Bucks.
Then that even makes my point even stronger. I don't want to hear anything about how it's so easy to get three guys together. These are three of the best players in the world, and if they can't even get through the division.
But they're also three of the most mercurial players in the world. You do have to factor in, outside of talent, how guys handle themselves. You do have to factor that in. And you have at least two of them who are not interested at all in ever being criticized. And I'm not saying that you should yearn for that, but you certainly could learn how to deal with it as opposed to fighting back on it all the time. It is part of the social contract that comes with being that level of player and paid like you are in the NBA. But no, we don't want to deal with that anymore. A superstar athlete has to deal with that. And you've got guys here who can't. Marty in Queens next, 98.7 ESPN. Marty, how you doing tonight, bud?
Hey, Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Excuse me. I'm a Knicks fan. This isn't basketball. It's bad enough that I have to go through this aggravation after 30 years of finally seeing a good team last year with the Knicks. These people who pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to watch the Knicks, that's bad enough. This is not basketball. How can these people go to the arena, pay for this money, and watch these guys who are really acting like clowns? Okay?
Are you talking about the Nets or the Knicks right now, or both?
Now I'm talking about the Nets. Okay? Forget it. I'm just saying, I'm making a point there that it's bad enough with the Knicks to suffer with them and watch it. But to go to the arena, I watch on television, so I'm basically almost getting it for nothing. So I don't feel so bad. These people who go and pay money out of their pocket to watch this stuff, you know the old saying, who's running the village? Was it the Indians or the Chiefs? It didn't work. It doesn't work if the Indians are running the village.
Well, but no. I mean, listen. Aside from that, that's not actually accurate. And thanks for the call. I know what you're trying to say, but there is a situation now in the NBA where players do run the league. That there's no getting around that, and there are players who know what they're doing in ways toward trying to build championship teams. LeBron has had some success before in trying to build championship teams. Steph Curry knows exactly what he's doing. Not that he's the GM of the team, but you think Steph Curry doesn't have some sort of say in what goes on with the Golden State Warriors? I think it's pretty safe to say that he does. Carrie in Long Island is next, 98.7 ESPN. Carrie, what's up?
Chris, this is Carrie. Just calling because I think the fans, like the other caller, are the biggest losers. People pay, he said, hundreds of dollars to go see the game. It's hard to feel bad for all of these players who are making so much more than most of the people going to see the game. It's kind of discouraging and disheartening, and I'm not even a Net fan. I just feel bad for them.
Hey, I don't disagree that the sympathy for the players in this instance, the sympathy for Kevin Durant is limited, to say the least. I do feel bad for the Net fan, all four of you, because I feel like you have all been waiting all these years, and they have put together this team based off of the 5 years of losing enough to get enough assets in place to have a chance to get this kind of talent assembled together, and they can't find a way to make it work. And meanwhile, you're paying the freight. Hey, I get that. That's absolutely brutal. It's absolutely brutal for a Net fan. I love going to games. I have to tell you, like, myself, I'm more at the point where I enjoy watching them at home more than I do going to them. And it's not just, getting older or whatever. It's also just the notion of spending that much money on situations like that. Like, I can't imagine fighting through everything you have to fight through to go to a Brooklyn Nets game right now and watch that. And watch what happened last night. Watch it be 28-2. I can't imagine that. Can you imagine sitting in those stands? You have spent that money to go to that game, and it's 28-2. Really? I absolutely love basketball. I love going to games. I don't enjoy it as much anymore. A few years ago when I was working down in Philadelphia, I actually bought a 10-game package for the Sixers or a 12-game package for the Sixers because I wanted to go and enjoy the games. And that was a team that was just on the tail end of the process. When Embiid came back, Simmons had been drafted, but he decided to sit out the entire year so that he could get his bonus for winning the Rookie of the Year the next season, $5 million from Nike. So the Sixers agreed, even though he was ready to play halfway through. No, you don't have to. It's okay. But I actually enjoyed going to those games. I enjoyed watching Embiid grow and play and really bond with those fans. But I spent a lot of money to do it, and that was just for a 10-game package. 800-919-3776. I don't know that you could ever get me to buy season tickets again for anything. That's just me, because frankly, we got too much of a view on TV where you get to enjoy it more. And there are things at the game that I actually miss. But that's even aside from trying to watch what's going on in Brooklyn right now, which is a complete embarrassment. And they're trying to assemble this and get it better. I mean, I just don't see how this is all going to work. Doesn't make any sense to me.
It's Carlin.
This is not my kind of guy.
On 98.7 ESPN.
The offense and defense, but it must be cool to be called special teams. It just sounds good. What team are you on? The special team. That's tight, right? Oh, if you're a fan of special teams, you can just bet on those. My sportsbook app has prop bets, so have at it, people. It's a special app, people.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467.
Am I doing a live here or no?
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited. $29.99 per
740.
month each when you get next break.
All right, let me step away
You
for
could
1
save
second.
hundreds of mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you can save. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com for details.
Please welcome those bad boys Aaron Paul and Brian Cranston, now cooking up a batch of delicious mezcal.
No, stop.
So pure it should be against the law.
Okay, wait, stop. What the hell is that?
That's the announcer I hired to introduce our first radio commercial for Dos Hombres.
Brian, we don't need that BS to tell people about DH.
Aaron, we found this perfect mezcal in Oaxaca that's incredibly smooth. We need to tell the world about Dos Hombres.
There, you just did it. Keep it simple, man.
Oh, okay. DosHombresMezcal.com. Please enjoy responsibly.
Get your Dos Hombres with Drizzly.
Did you know about 1 man in 9 will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, Space Ore Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of Space Ore, visit spaceoar.com. spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Hey, New York,
This is Michelle Scalisi from Security Dodge, and we have the inventory just for you. I have new vehicles arriving daily. Are you looking at an all-new Ram 1500, a Bighorn or Laramie, or even a TRX? Come get some. Are you looking for a new Jeep Grand Cherokee L or a Compass? Come get some. Don't forget about my huge selection of certified pre-owned. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during our President's Day sales event and come get some.
Hey, we know you. Your six-pack is always chilled in the fridge and on display at the beach. You'd never go to a purple gym. And don't own an exercise bike that costs more than your rent. Bodybuilding.com has the no BS solutions to get your body where you want it to be, with hundreds of workouts from world-class trainers, thousands of exercises, a motivational community, and all the gear and subs you need to keep those biceps looking like the moon. Give it a shot. Bring your six-pack. Start building your body now at bodybuilding.com.
PSE&G offers energy-saving programs and products for your home, your workplace, and everywhere in between. Count on us for everything from
You watching the Rutgers-Ohio State game tonight?
I am.
to instant discounts and rebates on Energy Star certified lighting and appliances. And when you're ready to start using less energy and enjoying lower costs each month, we're here to help. Visit pseg.com/energy efficiency today.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead. With Fidelity Income Planning, we'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time without the unnecessary fees. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving.
All right, Chris, coming back in 15.
For services number NYSE SIPC.
Powerball is now at $158 million. Stop searching for four-leaf clovers and take a chance on Powerball today. With the jackpot win, you could have the power to do it all. Anything can happen in Jersey.
You know, I should clarify in terms of season tickets. I do have season tickets for Rutgers basketball. And in fact, I'm not there tonight. They are playing Ohio State. And this is how aggravating I can be when doing the show from home. The dog, who is 13 years old next month, was laying on the couch very peacefully downstairs. I left the door slightly ajar just so that I could hear if she was whining or complaining about anything, if she needed anything. She's an old lady. I'm convinced that my Aunt Billy has come back in her body with the amount of complaining that she does. I mean, my Aunt Billy passed away several years ago, but I'm convinced that she is still capable of complaining now and is doing it through our dog. But the dog is so annoyed by the fact that I'm so loud that she's outside right now somewhere. That's what I'm dealing with here. More appropriately, that's what she's dealing with here. Meanwhile, my wife's at the game sitting by herself. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. Sam's in West Hempstead. He's next. 98.7 ESPN. Sammy, what's going on?
Hey, Chris. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah. So I want to say why I think the Nets actually should hold on to Harden, even though this whole thing is kind of a mess. I think that's something people haven't really brought up, because we don't really know, let's say the Nets do trade for Simmons, when he would even play. Like, the guy hasn't played in a few months. How long is it going to take for him to ramp up and get back to speed? And by that time, like, you know, Durant's going to be back. Hopefully Kyrie can play. And then when are we going to have Simmons even? So I think that's a huge issue when you're looking to get this guy, even though he is super talented.
Yeah, I don't think it's not that Simmons hasn't been doing anything at all. You know, he hasn't been practicing with the team. That'll take a little bit of time, but he's obviously kept in shape the entire time. He's been working out at the Sixers complex. but he's not doing anything in terms of the team at all. I don't think Ben Simmons. I don't think Ben Simmons is gonna. But I don't think it's gonna be a situation where you got to wait a month and a half for him to be back in the flow. He'll be able to miss jump shots very quickly.
Right. But even if it's a few weeks, which let's say it would be, then by then you're looking at Kyrie hopefully playing again and Durant coming back after the All-Star break. And then you could probably convince Harden that these guys are back. And you can't tell me that putting Simmons on the team gives them a better chance than Harden.
Well, for whatever reason, and thanks for the call, it seems as if there is a disconnect between Harden and Irving. That's really what's interesting about this whole thing, is somehow these two that last year were on the same page now are far from it. Like, what happened there? Where did that really go wrong? Because if you think about it, last year we had Harden, who was more than willing to give up scoring points and just be the facilitator and allow Irving to more step into a scoring role. And yet it is completely turned around in a bad way very, very quickly. I don't really get that. You know, how does that relationship deteriorate that fast? John in Queens is next, 98.7 ESPN. Johnny, what's going on, bud? How are you?
Okay, thank you. I just want to mention some names of people that were winners, I think, 3 years ago, and that gave a lot of encouragement and hope to fans. People like Kenny Atkinson, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, D'Angelo Russell, Joe Harris, and the supporting cast. You know, that was a winning group, and they might have gotten much better, like Cleveland has in other teams. And instead, you know, we have a situation that completely disinterests me, to be honest, and is predictable if you observe human behavior. So it's an opportunity loss, I would say, is the big loser.
Well, I completely understand what you're saying, because LeVert and Jarrett Allen were developed here and became very, very good players here. Joe Harris as well. Joe Harris has not been nearly the same over the last year and a half. Obviously, he's been hurt most of this year. Last year was not nearly as good of a shooter for the Nets, and that was why they gave him $75 million. I honestly, I couldn't quibble with what the plan was all along. And the plan was to put yourself in a position to get those kind of players when they come available, and that you had the kind of assets that you would need to make those trades to get them here. And since then, those three players have come here and nothing good has happened. But what was discounted in all of this is the mercurial nature of all three. There is no getting around Durant being I think, probably the greatest player in the game right now when healthy. Right now. But he does not deal well with any kind of criticism. But that's fine. With his abilities, you deal with that. You look at the other two, this is now the second time that Harden's quit on a team. Second time. And Kyrie, basketball's just not a priority. Let's call it what it is. He's told us that. When people show you who they are, time and again, there's only one thing to do. Believe them.
It's Carlin.
Feel my heat. Feel my heat. Yeah, it's definitely cool.
On 98.7 ESPN.
Hey, New York City business owners.
You got to read here, Chris.
Okay.
Phone. Switch to...
And 20 if you're ready.
City's best deal for small businesses. Get blazing fast internet speeds of 600 megabits per second for just $49.99 a month. And phone for just $19.99 a month. Taxes and fees included. That's faster internet at an incredible price. Other providers don't even come close. Make the switch to Spectrum Business. Visit business.spectrum.com/ultra.
Well, my friends, FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting app of Super Bowl 56, the Rams and the Bengals. And to celebrate, new customers can bet $5 to win $280 in cash on either team to win when you use promo code Carlin when registering. 2 words. You're welcome. That's right. You can get your winnings in cold hard cash because we know the cash is always better than free bets. Now, look, I like the Rams in this game. I could be talked out of it. Line's at 4 right now. I thought maybe at some point it would go to 5, but you talk about all of the props, the longest touchdown scored, the over-under at 42.5 yards. What do you think about that? What do you think about the Bengals' first touchdown? Is it going to be passing or is it going to be any other kind? You got plus 154 if it's any other kind of touchdown. This is what I'm saying. You got prop bets out the wazoo. There's no better place to bet on Super Bowl 56 than FanDuel Sportsbook. They've got promotions for new and existing customers, all kinds of same-game parlays, tons of Super Bowl props, and more. Don't miss your chance to turn $5 into $280 in cash. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use promo code Carlin this Super Bowl. Again, promo code Carlin. 21 or older, present in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. New users only, $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $280. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY in New York, 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey, and 888-789-7777 in Connecticut.
22 MS New York Radio License LLC, licensee of WEPN FM 98.7 FM New York, New York, filed an application with the Federal Communications Commission for renewal of its broadcast license. Members of the public wishing to view this application or obtain information about how to file comments and petitions on the application can visit publicfiles.fcc.gov and search the WEPN FM public file.
Backed by popular demand, Slomin's and their free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation offer is back. Finally, some great news. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you get a doorbell camera. The first 40 ESPN listeners who dial 1-800-ALARM-ME will get this limited time offer of a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone with installation of your Slomin Shield.
Chris, you want to do the giveaway here?
Sure.
First one here. Get it out of the way.
Customized home security system.
Cool.
Professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting
back in a minute.
Alarm doors and backup battery. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 ESPN listeners to call 1-800-ALARM-ME, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Slomin Shield. Keep your family safe. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME.
If someone relies on your financial support, be it a child, aging parent, or even a business partner, you need life insurance. Life insurance can give you peace of mind that if something happens to you, your loved ones will have a financial cushion for bills and everyday expenses. Policy Genius is your one-stop shop to find and buy the insurance you need. Head to policygenius.com and answer a few questions. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find your lowest price. You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. The team of licensed experts at Policy Genius can help you understand your options and apply for the policy you choose. The Policy Genius team works for you, not the insurance companies. That's important. They will offer unbiased help and advocate for you until you're covered. Head to policygenius.com.
All right, coming back here.
Life insurance quotes and see how much you could save.
.7 ESPN and FanDuel present Countdown to Kickoff, Friday, February 11th. It is a virtual Chalk Talk with Chris Canty, Peter Rosenberg, and myself. It's a VIP Zoom party on the Friday before the big game. We're going to break down the matchup, talk about some big money bets. To score your VIP access pass, be the first caller right now, 888-987-ESPN. Again, that is 888-987-3776. Do it. Join us. Do it. Do it. It's 98.7 ESPN's Countdown to Kickoff, presented by FanDuel. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. Who is the biggest loser in this whole situation with James Harden getting traded? For me, it is absolutely Kevin Durant. Steve in Rockland. Steve, what's going on? You're on 98.7 ESPN.
Oh, Chris, what an introduction, man. Listen, I totally agree with you. So is Harden dealt?
No, not yet. If he does get, but the whole situation is if they don't, here, hang on a second, Steve. The whole point is if he does not get traded, what does this look like after the fact? Because he's already kind of quit on them right now.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. Durant is by far the biggest loser. He's the only one who's locked in. Both of those, the other two mercenaries, because that's all they are. I mean, if James Harden is a selfish player, there's no one more selfish than Kyrie Irving. It's incredible. And those two mercenaries are both going to opt out if they're around. But, I want to just say something. You made, the point about Durant being the best player right now. When Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio were still alive and they, after they were retired, they would be introduced. They would introduce Ted Williams as the greatest living hitter and Joe D as the greatest living ball player. And
that's because Joe D wouldn't show up unless they did. That's actually true.
Okay, that's right. But with that being said, right now, the reason that I give LeBron the edge just in general, even all time, is only because of his ability to defend all five positions on the court at an unbelievably high level. And I'll tell you something, the Knicks wish they had a point guard as good as Jokic, man, because I watched that game last night. That guy can facilitate.
Jokic is something, boy. He is something special.
It was amazing to watch. But you're right about what you said about Durant is the biggest loser, because the Nets are going to it looks like the Nets are going to wind up in the same position as they wound up, a mess after the whole Pierce Garnett thing that didn't work out. And
wow, that's saying a lot. And you know what? That's an excellent point, Steve. Thanks for the call. Didn't even think of it, but this is going to be so much worse and so much more painful. What a job. What a point by you. Wow. That's a great point. Pierce and Garnett. Oofa. I mean, those are like curse words in Brooklyn, and justifiably so. That's absolutely, oh my God. Brian Munguia, think about that for a second as we bring you in for just a moment. Think about the fact that we're talking about Pearson Garnett in the same sentence as Durant and Harden and Kyrie Irving, and yet it's kind of justified if you think about it.
This is really bad. Oh my gosh. Have you hit rock bottom yet, Chris?
I don't know. Who, in your mind, who is the biggest loser in all of this?
I don't. I guess it's for me like Durant a little bit, because like he got tricked, right? Bamboozled by Kyrie, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna make a great super team."
He really did get bamboozled by Kyrie. Like,
how would you trust him?
How does Kyrie have that sort of mental power over Kevin Durant?
You had a great situation in Golden State. You could have won more championships, probably a dynasty for years to come, and then you left. I don't get it.
I think that he left because he was trying to be LeBron. And, to his point
And
earlier.
Steve Kerr too, right? Because there was like that little thing that they had going on as well. But I just don't get it.
Yeah. Listen, I think that and get Jake's take here in a sec with Brian or with LeBron. His point earlier about LeBron. LeBron was, of course, the better overall player than Durant. I'm just talking about right now in this moment. I think Durant's the better player. Jake, who is the biggest loser in all of this for you?
It's tough, and there's a lot of options which we've heard tonight. When I think of this whole situation, though, I just think because I'm a big Knicks fan, which a lot of listeners are right now, and we all wanted this situation for ourselves. We wanted Durant, Irving, and Harden, and yes, it's a big deal, and we've been talking about it, for the entire show. But if this was the Knicks, if this whole situation was happening with the New York Knicks, I cannot even imagine, what the media coverage would be like on a 24/7 everyday basis.
Boy, the city would be in absolute flames. It's a great point. Can you imagine if that was the case? What an absolute nightmarish disaster
And Thibodeau
that would
wouldn't be
be.
the coach. And Thibodeau wouldn't be the coach either.
That's true. That's true.
It would be a mess.
Like, I wonder who the coach would be. I don't think it would be Steve Nash, but think about who would be coaching the Knicks and trying to deal with all that. Wow. That's nuts. The fact that the names of Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett just came up. Wow. That's unreal. 800-919-3776. We have got our buddy Richard in Manhattan. Ricardo, ¿qué pasa?
Hi, Chris. I was thinking of a prop bet for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
How about a good game? We've had 6 very good to great games in a row. The odds of this game being good or very good or great are not good. I don't. But I think
Why?
it's a great prop.
Why do you think that's the case?
Just the odds. How can you have 7 great games in a row?
Well,
listen,
we've had that before. We've had.
No, never. Joe Namath came on the air and said he's never seen anything.
Well, I understand that, Richard, but we've had. What I was saying was, we've had teams that got on great runs before, and you've got 2 teams that have gotten on great runs. So I think this is going to be a. I think this is going to be a close game. You think this is going to be a blowout? Do you think this is going to be a blowout?
No, I hope not. I just hope it's a good game, good to very good game.
Well, if it's not a blowout, is it a good game?
Yeah, as good as, let's say, the LA San Francisco game. I'd be very happy with that. I don't think it'll be as good as the Kansas City Buffalo game or some of the Cincinnati games.
No, you're not going to be as good as Kansas City Buffalo. No.
I know. It's just the law of averages says that. So that would be a prop bet for me. As far as who's the biggest loser if they trade Harden, Kyrie, or Durant, the fans were deprived of seeing 3 great players together. What were they, 13-3 when they played?
Yep.
This is terrible that we're not able to see them play.
And over 100 some games, you've only seen them play 16 times together.
Yeah, for 13-3. That's the worst part of it. Just as a basketball fan, whether you love the Nets or not, you'd want to see how these 3 guys were playing together. It was a great concept, but I don't know. Why not? Why not just stick it out? Why do they have to make a move? Harden can unless they can get Kyrie to get the vaccine, or if it turns around, if they have some inside information that, with the New York State laws, maybe he'll be able to play the home games. They can figure something out. The season isn't lost yet. Why not? Hey, Chris, one more thing. We got 2 Ohio teams coming into New Jersey tonight. Do you think the Jersey teams will take them both?
We got Ohio State, and what do we got? Columbus and the Devils?
No.
I don't
Seton
even know.
Hall is playing
Xavier? Oh, I don't pay attention to what Seton Hall does. Thanks for the call. There's only one game that matters to me when Seton Hall's playing. That's just me. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. More on the Knicks and where this has all gone wrong. Who's to blame in all of this? Well, we've got some ideas on that. Next, Carlin, 98.7.
40.
You are down.
Say it with me.
Okay.
40 days up to 40 pounds with NJ Diet. It only takes 40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. Since NJ Diet is a contractually guaranteed money-back program, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. NJ Diet is 100% tailored to you by using bioenergetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep it off. 40 days up to 40 pounds can be a real thing. Unlike other weight loss systems, NJ Diet is all natural. No shots, no hormones, no prepackaged foods, and no surgery. With offices throughout the tri-state area or from home with live online video consultations. Start your new year off right by calling them now at 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days, up to 40 pounds. 40 days, up to 40 pounds. 40 days, up to 40 pounds.
Go for a huge score during the big game with BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app and place a $10 moneyline wager on pro football's final game. If either team scores a touchdown, you'll win $200 regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use bonus code DON200. You'll also earn BetMGM reward points that you can redeem for room nights and dining at BetMGM resorts nationwide. Download the BetMGM app and use code DON200 to win $200 if either team scores a TD in the big game, regardless of your bet's outcome. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New York and New Jersey only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem in New Jersey? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
The job search can be a frustrating journey filled with long, lonely hours on the computer and countless attempts to get noticed by employers. ZipRecruiter gets it. No one wants to feel alone in their job search. That's why ZipRecruiter's AI does so much of the work for you. They save you time by sending you jobs you can apply to with one click. And they pitch your profile to employers, so you stand out. Job seekers, feel the love. Sign up for free at ZipRecruiter.com. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
This is your radio home for New York Rangers hockey.
Cal Panarin moves in, shoots, scores!
The Blue Shirts are here. WEPN FM, New York.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. It's the NBA Wednesday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app. It is underway in Charlotte. First game, Charlotte hosting the Bulls in a 8-point lead for the Hornets with about 5 minutes to go in the first half. That game's going to be followed by Golden State at Utah, 10 p.m. Eastern, for a little bit of NBA history. The first broadcast led by an all-female crew. And again, it's on ESPN and the ESPN app. Super Bowl Sunday, going to see the Rams battle the Bengals. L.A. with a potent offense, but might be without starting tight end Tyler Higbee, who suffered that sprained MCL in the NFC Championship game. Here's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter with the latest.
Sean McVay, the Rams head coach, did not sound optimistic about the chances that he would practice or play this week. He didn't practice last week. Don't know that he'll practice this week. That will be a big loss for the Rams offense. He's one of Matthew Stafford's most reliable.
Chris, what time you want Frank Isola?
That's Adam He's at 9.
Oh, 9. Okay.
Top 25 college basketball tonight, halftime on ESPN2. Number 6, Houston leading SMU 50-41. Again, that's on ESPN2. Number 16, Ohio State trailing at the half at Rutgers by 1. And 25th ranked Xavier trails at Seton Hall by 10. In the NHL, the Canadiens fire head coach Dominique Ducharme, interim head coach, Hall of Famer Martin St. Louis. The Canadiens are last in the league with a record of 8-30-7.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Matthew Stafford is the reason that they're in the Super Bowl. If there was a playoff MVP, he would be that guy.
More from the guys Thursday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
You're listening to Chris Carlin on 98.7 ESPN.
RJ Barrett doubtful for tomorrow night against Golden State due to the ankle sprain. Quentin Grimes, questionable. Nerlens Noel, questionable. Mitchell Robinson, questionable. Here we go. We'll see you in downtown San Francisco tomorrow night. Oofa. 800-919-3776. Let's get to these Knicks for a few minutes because we spent a lot of time the last few days trying to dissect exactly where things have gone, well, horribly awry for them. And I think we can just take a spin back 24 hours to when we were talking about Windy, or talking to Brian Windhorst, and he discussed where he really thinks everything kind of went out of whack for the Knicks and where they were headed.
Last year's team was better than they thought it was or was going to be. And they had so much success, they invested in that success. And it turned out that team wasn't as legitimate, I think, as their record implied. And so I don't directly look at Leon Rose and say, boy, did he screw this up? I think he may have deviated from their plan because of the success.
You know, let's call it what it is, all right? We're not going to blame anybody in this one because we were all fooled, but it's not our job to run the team. It's their job to run the team. We were all fooled into believing that this was better than it actually was. And what bothers me the most about that is that while we were fooled, we really weren't. And what I mean is we were enjoying the ride, and maybe we were all blinded by what was going on in that respect, right? We all were just so excited, as I talked about last night, being in the desert and getting a couple of drips of water. It felt like a deluge. But instead, after the regular season, how that all positively turned out, we saw what happened in the postseason. And that should have been the reality check to give us all the clue that, hey, this team is still not that good. And going back to what we've talked about with the Nets, the point about the Knicks is these players that have been here are supposed to get better, and frankly, they've gotten worse. They've gotten worse. Think about that for a second. You've had guys who had a career year like Julius Randle, got his contract. He's been worse this year. Emmanuel Quickley has been worse this year. There's really only one player who has improved, and that was, quite simply, RJ Barrett. You're not thinking about trading RJ Barrett anytime soon. They haven't put themselves in a good position because of that. And that's what's frustrating by it. Like, you needed the ammunition, so to speak, to be able to make a move when somebody gets available. And you don't have that. It hasn't improved. We've all gotten fooled by it, including the front office, including Tom Thibodeau. It was fool's gold from the get-go. We all kind of knew it, but we didn't want to believe it because it had been so bad for so long. And the front office sensed that too. Whether that's Jim Dolan putting pressure on them, I don't know. I don't really think it's even that necessarily. It's, hey, look at how good we are. We're better right away. We must be magicians in all of this. It's not really the case. It's more that you look at it and you get frustrated with the fact that it hasn't even been about improvement. It's been about regression. And that's tough to take. That's very tough to take. 800-919-3776. Let us return to the phones and get to Chris in Monmouth. Chris, what's up? You're next. 98.7 ESPN on the open lines.
Good evening, Chris. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We've talked before. We love the Waffle House. I think you know what I'm talking about. I wear the T-shirt proud. I love it. But, man, I'm 45 in April. And the Knicks, I love the Knicks. But, my God, they are so dysfunctional. And nobody advocates for New York. Randall, I was a Randall supporter. And I was curious on your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear and love to reply if I could. You know, do you think Thibodeau is the coach for this generation of NBA players? And second, do you think what is behind the Randall, just the attitude in general? Because it's not like they were negative towards him like they were Carmelo all those years back with Phil Jackson. And what saddens me about the Knicks is I don't look at them as a rebuilding team. I think when you have Madison Square Garden, it's just an amazing. To look at that first game last year against Atlanta, it was crazy. It just seems to me like there's no cohesion behind what they do. To your point last night, they bring in all these guys, Worldwide West and these other guys, and you just say, what's the plan? Like, you're right. Like, every school of thought is different, and it just leads to dead ends. And I kind of feel like the Knicks are never going to be relevant until, honestly, the superstars that are now the LeBrons, the Durants, are kind of like past their prime, and that really good young player and a couple good players are there. I don't know who those people are, but what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's a big problem. We don't know who those players are, besides maybe RJ Barrett.
Exactly.
I think your point about Thibodeau is not necessarily off. What I would do to alter it would be this. I would say that he can absolutely relate to today's player and connect with today's player, but it has to be a group that is close to being ready to win. Like that to me, I'll give you an example, okay? Think about, and I'm not saying that Thibodeau would have been perfect for this, but it's this kind of a situation. Think about where the Golden State Warriors were with Mark Jackson. They were very, very good. They felt like they should be winning the championship, yet they couldn't quite get over the hump, and one thing was missing, and some people believed it was the coach. And so they changed the coach. Steve Kerr comes in, and they win the championship. Like, that's the kind of situation.
Where's Steph Curry coming from?
Well, that too. But Steph Curry was on the team before that. The point is that the point is that it would need to be that kind of a specialized situation for Thibs to be a championship coach in my mind.
Can I make a quick Nets point?
Yeah.
Okay. So you made such a great point about 35 minutes ago about Durant. And you basically were saying, like, my God, Durant, this is not really what he signed up for. I guess my question is, I don't like Durant personally. I feel like once he left Oklahoma City, his attitude changed to be a little more like not like a salty type of person. But either way, I can respect his crazy talent, and he's one of the best in the world. But you're right. I mean, you have the Golden State Warriors, who could be just champions all the time, regardless of injury aside. And now he's like, wow, he does care. He wants to win. But then you have a Kyrie who has his situation, and you support people's beliefs, and that's fine. Then you have a who disgruntled for whatever he wants to leave. And here you got Durant, who says, I could win championships. But I guess the question is, he has to defend his teammates, but he must be ultra frustrated, and he could win the championships. And these guys just got their heads screwed on straight. I kind of believe it or not. I agree with you. It's like, what's going on there? And he must be like, guys, this is not what we're trying to do here. So, just some thoughts there. And I appreciate the time, Chris, as always. And the Waffle House I won a T-shirt from you years ago. We talked before. I love the T-shirt. I wear it proud to this day. It's like 5 years ago.
Appreciate that. Thanks, bud. Thanks for checking in. We had T-shirts a few years ago. I remember that. That was cool. Durant is the biggest loser in this whole situation. I mean, Net fans are truly massive losers in this entire thing. But in terms of the key players involved, not just on the court, but off, Durant blows everybody else away in that regard.
It's Carlin
That's me.
on 98.7 ESPN.
The wait is over. Now you can sports bet online in
trying
New
to
York
find
with Bet
something here.
Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers is the online home of Rivers Casino in
Cut that up
Schenectady
earlier.
and features live streaming, same game parlays, and best of all, an app that's live in New York right now. Place your bets in your living room, not in New Jersey.
Last year's
Download the Bet
team
Rivers
was
app or
better
go to
than they-
betrivers.com today.
For
Listen to
some
our
reason,
global
and I
number
don't know
to get
why,
a problem. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY
He
or
is
text
screaming
HOPE-NY
in
467-369.
A fresh start means a new you, new connections, and new savings from Optimum. Visit Optimum.com to get reliable, high-speed 300 meg internet for just $29.99 a month. With this fresh offer, you'll get a $200 Visa prepaid card, 3 full months of HBO Max included on us, and a free Wi-Fi extender for greater whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Plus, as part of Optimum flexibility, there are no contracts or hidden fees. We'll even give you a 60-day money-back guarantee. And now you can unlock even more value when you combine with Optimum Mobile. Don't wait to get fast new internet to go with the new you. Enjoy a fresh start with reliable 300 meg internet from Optimum for just $29.99 a month with a $200 Visa prepaid card. Sign up at Optimum.com today. For new residential customers, reflects auto-pay discount. Taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. Not transferable and not available in all areas. Wired connection up to 300 megs. Wi-Fi speeds may vary. After promo, HBO Max subscription is $14.99 per month. 90 days of continuous service required for gift card. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. Additional terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you can save. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com for details.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to use humor. But we don't want to insult your intelligence, so nothing too goofy. And we need to avoid any polarizing topics. Oh, and it has to be about how you can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. You know what? Maybe humor is a bad idea. Yeah, it's never going to work. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Now streaming on Disney Plus. Spend time with the bravest heroes, the most cunning villains, and greatest stories ever told.
It's time to show the world who I really am.
Disney's Encanto.
You're exactly what this family needs.
Let's go! Star Wars, The Book of Boba Fett, and the Beatles Get Back.
Here we go.
Marvel Studios Eternals.
This is what we've been waiting for.
And Free Guy, streaming February 23rd.
I didn't see that coming.
Sign up now at DisneyPlus.com.
Guys, are you still looking for a great Valentine gift for your special someone? Then give her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all. With soft, silky, naturally nude pajamas, available exclusively from Pajamagram.com. Sensuous and smooth, naturally nude pajamas feel just like her own soft skin. She'll love slipping these on every night. They are so soft and luxurious, they'll melt away her stress. She'll love the feeling of wearing next to nothing at all, and you'll love the way they look. Check them out at Pajamagram.com. Best of all, every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging, which means you don't have to wrap a thing. So get her naturally nude pajamas. Just go to Pajamagram.com or text the word GIFT, that's GIFT, to 41234. Again, text the word GIFT to 41234 to order naturally.
Come back here, Chris.
Here
we go.
And delivery by Valentine's Day is guaranteed.
Who knew? It turns out that Sean Marks is Australian for Billy King. Oh, God. 800-919-3776. Carlin, what up? Let's roll. Frank Isola, top of the hour. The very latest on everything going on with the trade deadline. And I have to tell you this. It is interesting that Woj and Brian Windhorst are so dramatically different in their takes on what's going on here. Now, look, I'm a Woj guy. I am siding with Woj on on this, but it does make for fascinating theater across the board, doesn't it? I mean, whether or not this happens is just, it's kind of scintillating. I'm excited for the deadline tomorrow to see how this plays out. I'm not excited for Kevin Durant. To me, tomorrow, 3:00 could be an absolute nightmare for him if it goes the wrong way. Marvin in the Bronx up next, 98.7 ESPN. What's up, my man?
What's up, Chris? First of all, I want to ask, did you get your gift?
I haven't been at the station to get it, so I need to get to the station to do it. But I don't doubt that it's there. I haven't been there in quite some time.
I look forward to one day having lunch with you.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Here's the thing. I got to throw this a bone to you. I was up in Cooperstown, and I said, I'm in the shadow of my man's alma mater.
It was, yeah.
So, no,
Did you enjoy? Did you go to the Hall of Fame?
oh, yeah, I've been there several times.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
it's.
been to 3 or 4 inductions.
I've only been there twice. It's fantastic.
I had the pleasure of meeting Mrs. Jackie Robinson at one induction.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome.
And I'm gonna tell you a story before we go. Give me a little time. When I got up from talking to her, I asked her, "What attracted you to him?" He said he used to wear white shirts. I said, "White shirts?" He said, "Son," and she's talking to another black person. She said, "Anybody who was that black had the nerve to put a white shirt on, I knew had a lot of self-confidence." I fell out laughing. So anyway, getting away from that, I saw the Knicks point to future point guard last night in the Auburn game. Auburn, Arkansas game, excuse me. That young kid, Natel, that's their future point guard. And he's hungry. That's what I love about him.
Is he? I apologize. I haven't seen Auburn play a whole lot yet. Is he on Auburn? I'm assuming
He's on Arkansas.
he's on Arkansas.
And he's a guy who grew up in abject poverty, and he's hungry.
Mhm.
And I said, this guy, he can shoot. This guy has just got the heart, and this is the type of play that the Knicks need. But I'm going to say this about heart, right? And, Chris, I always seem to go back in history to you. The 2 best books I ever read on basketball are The Breaks of the Game by David Halberstam, my favorite author. And the other one is Second Wind by Bill Russell. And in that book, he makes a statement. When you take the money, you take the responsibility.
There's no doubt.
NBA players should think about that.
Yeah, listen, there is a change of thought these days, Marvin, that I can take the money and not the responsibility. And it's been going on for quite some time. It has been, I can take the money, and if I don't like the situation, I can force my way out of it. That's been going on forever.
Yeah. But they got to, some of these guys should look back in history. I know I bore you with history sometimes, but that's my niche, all right? And that's what I draw on. But, they realize somebody paid a price for them to make this money.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It just shut up. Guys put their careers on the line to make this money.
Yeah.
And look, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Chris. And I'm going to say this for the audience out there. You work for the 2 Hall of Famers. That's how long I've known you. One day when you're inducted, I like to be there.
Marvin, you're the best. Be good. I tell you, that's interesting. The idea that there is not any kind of an appreciation for the history from that standpoint. That they did go and do all that they did beforehand to set this up. It's kind of like when people talk about Curt Flood in Major League Baseball and free agency. Well, in the NBA, it's a lot different. And all of this money and all of this, power that has come over the years really started with so many players that really started to illustrate that they could have power in the league. It's pretty impressive when you think about it. But at the same time, it's pretty depressing to see that that's not even taken into consideration anymore. It's not even a thought. 800-919-3776. By the way, if you haven't checked it out, by all means, check out the video stream, which is up and running on my Twitter. That is at Chris Carlin. It's also on 98.7 ESPN's Twitter as well, and on 98.7 ESPN's Facebook page, ESPN New York's Facebook page. Go there. It's all over the internet, so you can get it anywhere you need to. Let us continue. How about Mel in Long Island? Next, 98.7 ESPN. Mel, what do you got?
I'm good, Carlin. This is my first time on the radio. I got 2 points, but before I wanted to say them, I just wanted to say I started driving on the road this year for Amazon, and all I listen to now is 98.7. The episode.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, right. The episode when you and Peter were in the Michael K show, and you guys were comparing Don singing to Andrew singing. It was hilarious, man. Hilarious. But yeah. But yeah, I have to agree with you, man, with the Nets. I think KD, he put himself in this situation, when you look at Kyrie and you see the previous teams he's been on, he's been with LeBron, didn't want to be Robin, so he went to Boston. You see, that was a disaster. See how that played out. And, I just didn't see how he didn't see this coming as far as Kyrie. And Harden, I feel like he's just getting his karma from how he got out of the Rockets situation. People forget that the Rockets had just got John Wall and Boogie, and a lot of people thought they were going to maybe do something there, but, he got out the way he did, and I really feel like that's just his karma coming back to him from that. But also with the Knicks, I'm a LeBron fan personally, so I was never a Knicks fan. My dad always told me since the 90s they was always sorry. They always broke your heart. So I was just like, okay, I'll see what he's talking about. Now, I can't call him a liar, Every year it's something with them. I really don't think that I would say the closest they've been to anything were the years where Carmelo was there, J.R. Stoudemire, that team was really good. They gave a lot of teams trouble. But, yeah, man, I just think until the front office gets, they stuff together, or starts making better decisions as far as, picking players. Like you said, you hear this word culture all the time, right? Popovich, Spurs, if not have one of the best coaches in the NBA. Greg Popovich is one of the best coaches in probably history of the NBA. Tim, Ginobili, Parker, just class act guys, right? After they're gone, Pop hasn't really been able to do anything. So it's like
the point is it's not all just about culture. Culture is built by having great players. Thanks for the call. I mean, let's be clear. That's where great culture comes from. When you have guys who can win, when you have great players, it's easy to talk about culture. So many times. And this is actually true, like in business. I've been at places where they can't stop talking about how good their culture is, and it's awful. I mean, I've been, when the more you talk about culture when you're these teams, the more of a problem it truly is. It's not when you say you have a good culture, you don't have to talk about it when you do. You don't. And ultimately for this, culture comes down to having great players who can win. But I go back to this, what Brian Windhorst was saying last night. The idea that everybody got fooled off of last season.
Last year's team was better than they thought it was or was going to be. And they had so much success, they invested in that success. And it turned out that team wasn't as legitimate, I think, as their record implied. And so I don't directly look at Leon Rose and say, boy, did he screw this up. I think he may have deviated from their plan because of the success.
And that's problematic, deviating from the plan because of success, because what does it do? It kind of goes back to falling into the trap that the Knicks have fallen into over the last several years. And that is, let's try to win now, but we're going to do it in, well, over those years, it was in a half-assed way. This way, it's been more about let's try to get better and let's try to win now with players who are mid-level guys to make us a little bit better. And look, they're not alone. We were all there with them. We were all there excited with what the Knicks had become. And if you're telling yourself you weren't, you're lying. You're absolutely lying. We were all there. We all got suckered into thinking that it could be better. But to me, we got to remember, you and I are sitting here for a reason. They're over there for a reason. They shouldn't be getting suckered into it. We can get suckered into the excitement, but we ain't paid to make sure that team is headed in the direction that it's supposed to be headed. Roger Goodell spoke today. You're going to hear some of that in moments. Doesn't really make me feel a whole lot better.
It's Carlin.
It's not an egg. It's more of an ovid.
On 98.7 ESPN.
Here's some big news just in time. King Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, is officially live right here in New York State. And DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer that you don't want to miss. Bet just $5 or more on the Super Bowl and win $280 in free bets if your team is victorious. And don't miss out on all the fun prop bets DraftKings Sportsbook has to offer. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, sign up using code EMPIRE, bet just $5 or more, and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's code EMPIRE this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full details. Must be 21 plus and physically present in New York. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Hey, sports fans, are you heading to a game, tailgating a little, going to a local watering hole to catch your favorite team, or maybe you're having a viewing party of your own? Then there's something to add to your pregame ritual. Pick up a quick view at-home OTC COVID-19 test. You can easily find them online or over the counter at your local retailer. In just 10 minutes, you can get rapid results in the privacy of your own home. That's all it takes, 10 minutes, plus it detects Delta and other variants of COVID-19. Quick view at-home OTC COVID-19 test is proudly made in America, so go ahead, test before the game, after the game, when you don't feel well, or anytime you need to know your COVID-19 status. Testing is fast, easy, and affordable with Quick View at Home OTC COVID-19 test by Quidel. Together we can defeat COVID-19. So come on, sports fans. What are you waiting for? Take 10 minutes, take charge, pick up a Quick View at Home OTC COVID-19 test today and learn more at quickviewathome.com. For FDA emergency use authorization only.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
It's Super Bowl 56. Rams and Bengals, and FanDuel Sportsbook is giving all customers a risk-free same-game parlay. Place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl, and if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Same-game parlays combine multiple bets from the same game into one wager for bigger payouts. Build your parlay with the spreads, money lines, Super Bowl props, whatever. You know this by now. For me, one that I'm
surprised we have so much Nets talk,
I know.
Drive. I bet with FanDuel.
This is probably a record.
Yes. Already have FanDuel? Place your risk-free same-game parlay before the Super Bowl to qualify. New customers.
Have we
use
done
promo
both of
code
our
Gordon to
contests
enjoy
or no?
56-1.
No, we did one. If you want, you could do one here just to get rid of it.
Sure.
Or we could wait. Yeah, I might as well do it here because you have Frank I saw at 9.
On a
Yeah,
roll,
I'll knock
present
it
New
out.
York, New Jersey, Connecticut. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit. It expires in 7 days. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-789-7777 in Connecticut. 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey or 877-8-HOPE-NY in New York.
Here we go.
All right, my friends, it's that time again. 98.7 ESPN and FanDuel presents Countdown to Kickoff on Friday, February 11th. It is a virtual Chalk Talk with Chris Canty, Peter Rosenberg, and myself. A VIP Zoom party on the Friday before the big game. We're going to break down the matchup, talk some big money bets to score your VIP access pass. Be the first caller right now. 888-987-ESPN. 888-987-3776. It's 98.7 ESPN's Countdown to Kickoff, presented by FanDuel. Roger Goodell had his State of the League press conference today, and as you would expect, there were plenty of questions in relation to minority hiring of coaches and the Washington football situation. I just want you to hear a couple of these real quick. He did get pressed in some situations, which was good to see, but here he is on why there is a lack of minority head coaches.
We work really hard. We believe in diversity. We believe in it as a value. We believe it's made it stronger. People have come into the league who are diverse, have been very successful and made us better. And we just have to do a better job. We have to look, is there another thing that we can do to make sure we're attracting that best talent here and making our league inclusive? If I had the answer right now, I would give it to you. I would have implemented it. I think what we have to do is just continue and find and look and step back and say, we're not doing a good enough job here.
Well, that's clear. They are not doing a good enough job here, and everything that they're trying to do is not working. Here he is on the effectiveness of the Rooney Rule.
The Rooney Rule, as an example, has changed many times over. I think we're on at least 5 or 6 changes, which is a good thing in the sense of how it evolves, how it has to change to address the issues that we are facing today. And I think that's the core of the message that we've been talking about here is, okay, we're not having the success we want with head coaches. How do we evolve that rule? Or do we have to have a new rule? Do we need to figure out some other way of being able to achieve that outcome? And I think we're not going to rest until we find that. And we get those kind of outcomes that I think are they're mandatory for us. There just has to be the way we're going to move forward to have an inclusive league.
You know, there's a lot of talk, but there's no definitive plans here. And I understand that the Flores lawsuit seemingly came from nowhere for them, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Not when you go through a cycle like this and you see what has happened. There is a part of me that wants to believe that Roger Goodell is actually happy that the lawsuit came, because it's not about Roger Goodell. It's about the 32 owners that he works for. And if there is something that's going to spur change, a lot of times it's legal action. So we talked a little bit about this last week, the notion that maybe, just maybe, he, in not having any power in trying to convince these owners to purchase or convince these owners to hire minority coaches, is troubling to him, but maybe this will help in that regard. Maybe this will put them in a position where they can honestly just believe that there's going to be change because somebody stood up. And I hope that's the case. I don't think for a minute that Roger Goodell is glad that he sued. I wish that he would be. He did say they need to listen to Flores and listen to his experience and see how all that goes. But we all know Brian Flores is not getting another opportunity to coach. I hope that he does, but I would not bet on it. I truly would not. Then there's the whole situation in Washington. And let's get to this for a sec, because this is rich.
I do not see any way that a team can do its own investigation of itself. That's something that we would do. We would do it with an outside expert that would be able to help us come to the conclusion of what the facts were and what really truly happened, so that we can make the right decision from there. So we'll treat that seriously and move forward.
You know, I can't with this, okay? And I'll give you an example why. I'm going to get off on a little bit of a rant for a moment. You listen to Roger Goodell talk about how seriously they take that situation in Washington. Let's go back for a minute. They put together the investigation. The team hires the lawyer to do the investigation. The league takes it over, the first one, into all the sexual harassment and alleged misconduct. The league then does not want a written report from Beth Wilkinson. The league wants an oral report from her. They don't want anything in writing because they don't want it getting out. There actually was a written report that did get out to the Sports Junkies, the radio show in Washington, D.C., but that report never made its way to the league. Why? Because the league didn't want it. So they told her, do not give us a written report in any way. So now, after the latest allegations that came in front of Congress from Tiffany Johnston, the Washington football team, or the Commanders now, Daniel Snyder, says, hey, we're hiring these lawyers. We're going to investigate ourselves. We're going to go nuts. We're going to do all the right things. Now the league says again, no, we're going to take that over. We'll do it. And we're supposed to think that something's going to come out of it. You know, this is something that guys don't care about. Guys, we need to care about this. This is the only time that things like this change. When issues to black people are important to issues to white people, things change. When issues to women are important issues to men, things change. We need to care about this. We need to show that this is important, because right now, I have to tell you, like, this is just a stupid way for me to just gauge the interest on it. But whenever I tweet about anything related to the Washington football team scandal or Daniel Snyder or any of that stuff, or Amina Kimes' article in the New York Post yesterday, that is an eye-opening read into everything that she has done to get to where she is, it's barely even acknowledged. Barely even acknowledged. Women are here. They're not going anywhere. And I hate to put it this way, because it shouldn't take this for you to care. But let's do it anyway. Imagine it's your wife. Imagine it's your daughter. Imagine it's your sister. Imagine it's another family member. It's your mother, whoever, that is in that Washington football team office getting harassed. What are you going to do about it? You ain't going to be quiet. You ain't going to be quiet unless you're gutless, and you're not. So if that's the only way for you to actually care about it, think about it that way. It shouldn't take that, but think about it that way. You would be beyond steamed if any of those people were affected by it. Same thing with African-American coaches, with minority coaches. If it's your kids, if it's your friends, if it's your people that are affected by it, you'd care a hell of a lot more than you do. Care. It's important. We are all the same. Care. Because that's the only way things change. It's the only way things change. I have a bad feeling about the whole Washington thing. Because we're not going to make a big enough stink about it or a big enough uproar about it that the league will bury it again and nothing will come out of it. And that little twerp is still going to own that team. Out there wearing his stupid varsity jacket last week after he created an atmosphere that nobody should have to work in. But you don't give a damn. Just go play football. No, dude. Care. Have some guts. Have some character. Care. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN.
Go for a huge score during the.
You are down.
At MG.
Hey, Chris, so there was one person that called for the giveaway.
Football.
Okay.
I have to do it again.
Okay. I'll do it next hour.
Okay. Sounds good.
$, regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use bonus code DON200. You'll also earn BetMGM reward points that you can redeem for room nights and dining at BetMGM resorts nationwide. Download the BetMGM app and use code DON200 to win $200 if either team scores a TD in the big game, regardless of your bet's outcome. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New York and New Jersey only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem in New Jersey? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. With NJ Diet, it only takes 40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. Since NJ Diet is a contractually guaranteed money-back program, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. NJ Diet is 100% tailored to you by using bioenergetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep it off. 40 days up to 40 pounds can be a real thing. Unlike other weight loss systems, NJ Diet is all natural. No shots, no hormones, no prepackaged food, and no surgery. With offices throughout the tri-state area or from home with live online video consultations.
Predictably, no response to that.
By calling them now at 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. Up to,
are you talking to us, Chris?
Days up to 40 pounds. 40 days.
Yeah, and
up
also
to 40 pounds.
I was going to say,
PJ,
we did, the guy, Ben and VJ both had really nice things to say about it. They said they want to commend you and they respect you a lot for what you did in that last segment.
Process was amazing and no demolition, which keeps the cost down. Bathfitter is a permanent solution done in as little as just 1 day, plus a lifetime guarantee for as long as you own your home. Join the 2 million happy customers like me and design your bath online at bathfitterdesign.com. Right now, you'll get 0% interest, so start designing yours today at bathfitterdesign.com. There's only one bath fitter.
Hey, New York.
Come get some.
This is Peter Rosenberg for Security Dodge, and if it hasn't been got yet, now is the time to go get it. Right now, Security Dodge is coming to you with a double spotlight deal. That's right. You choose between a new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee or a new 2021 Dodge Durango. RT all-wheel drive. This is the best deal in the market. No money down, 39-month lease for $499 a month. You choose Grand Cherokee or Durango with over 75 ready to roll right now. Go to securitydodge.com for complete program details. Security Dodge is home to the absolute best inventory.
Come get some.
And always feature the absolute best in class, no money down leases around. And don't forget about the huge selection of certified pre-owned. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com. Security Dodge, your local top 5 dealer in the country. And they sell more because they sell for less. Again, you choose between a new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee or a new 2021 Dodge Durango. RT all-wheel drive. No money down, 39-month lease for $499 a month. Over 75 to choose from during their President's Day event.
Come get some.
Hey, New York City business owners, stop overpaying for internet and phone.
Switch to Spectrum Business and get New York City's best deal for small businesses. Get blazing fast internet speeds of 600 megabits per second for just $49.99 a month and phone for just $19.99 a month. Taxes and fees included. That's faster internet at an incredible price. Other providers don't even come close. Make the switch to Spectrum Business. Visit business.spectrum.com/ultra.
You ever watch the guy on the free throw line, or the 20-yard line, or the third base line, and feel like you know exactly what's about to happen? Get your phone out. Bet live instantly on every game, every play with the Tipico Sportsbook app. And with built-in bet assist, you can move fast and never miss a shot. Tipico, let's make this interesting. Download the app at Tipico.com. Terms apply. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At PSEG Long Island, we're proud to say we've strengthened our commitment to you with hundreds more miles of storm-hardened poles and wires, more utility crews for faster power restoration, and more ways to keep you informed before, during, and after a storm, like expanding our call center capacity.
PSEG Long Island, how can I help you?
So when storms are raging outside, you can stay connected inside. PSEG Long Island. We're proud.
Coming back here.
Long Island.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my peers. Put suckers in fear. Making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the
Spike in St. Pete next, 98.7 ESPN. Spike, what's going on?
Well, thanks for getting to me. I'm sweating this Rutgers game out while I'm talking to you, but that's another subject. First of all, excuse me, I want to make one quick comment. By the way, the callers to this radio station, I had the honor and privilege of talking to the patriotic Marvin on Saturday for about an hour and a half, and that was priceless. And only the good Lord knows how I feel about Buddha, man. That guy is all aces. Some wonderful, wonderful people. Just share great topics and great opinions with terrific hosts. So I thank you for that. Now, Kevin Durant's getting the short stick here. You know how they always say if you give him the sodium pentothal, he had to do it again, what would he do? And it'd be interesting to project on that. But frankly, I only care about the Knicks. And Jake told me on the pickup that it looks like a decimated squad. Understandable with the trip in so many games. Look, Thibodeau's a defensive coach. I think they asked him if he had to do it again. He didn't want the guys they brought in, and Leon and Wes and Scott Perry brought in some players. It remains to be seen. I didn't see anything coming in except a nice story about Kemba Walker, and he's washed up, and it breaks my heart because I love that kid. I love him. That smile on that face is priceless, Chris. Good, bad, and indifferent. So I'll just say this. I think there'll be a mandate after they get the floor wiped with them tomorrow night or whenever it is in Golden State, and hopefully a mandate comes down from the management. They got to do something this year. They sat on their thumbs.
Well, look, I mean, we'll see what happens here in the next, 16 hours or so. And thanks for the call, Spike. It's going to be interesting. I would hope that they get something done by the deadline tomorrow. I'm not counting on it right now. I'm not counting on it because it doesn't feel like it's there to be had. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN, 800-919-3776. How about VJ in Montclair? VJ, what's up?
Hey, Chris, I'm just calling in because, obviously you're a great radio personality and you're always funny and you bring great, views to it. But today was really special. I got in my car and I was excited to listen to you, speak with such passion about a really important subject. And I know it's divisive to bring this stuff up in sports, even though to me kind of shouldn't be. And I just really want to call in and say thank you for speaking on a topic that I think really should be important. It should be,
listen,
more often.
Here's the problem with it too. Like people just don't want to hear about it. People just don't want to hear about it. And we come here to be able to play in the sandbox, right? And there are times where we got to talk about some other things that actually matter. And I hate the fact that when we talk about this stuff of needing to think about it in terms of your own family, we shouldn't have to do that. We're talking about human beings, but if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
Yes, I totally agree. I make that point all the time. It shouldn't take making someone your family member for you to look at another human being and go, that is a living human being worthy of respect, caring, and listening when they say they see a problem.
VJ, I appreciate you calling. And, listen, just do the right thing. It's not that hard. Pay attention when there is something going on that shouldn't be going on and make it a priority to be wrong. It's wrong. That's all there is to it. It's dead wrong. And if it mattered to somebody that you cared about, you would care. You'd go into the office of the Washington football team swinging arms. You would be. Matt in Queens is next, 98.7 ESPN. Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, Matt. How you
I
doing?
don't know how much you guys. Oh, good. I'm not sure how much you guys may have discussed this already, but with the change that the governor made as far as the pandemic mandates are concerned, technically, Kyrie Irving can play tomorrow night in Brooklyn.
No, he can't. And it has more to do the city has to be the one that lifts that mandate. The city still has their mandate in place.
I don't believe so, Chris.
No,
I
no.
don't believe so, Chris. I think the state has authority over the city in this.
I don't think they do, because I checked into it last night and it was the other way around. The city can still make their own local mandate.
I'm going to look into it more.
Okay. Look into it more, but this is what I've come across so far. So, as far as I know, that's what the case is. How about Rod in New Jersey next, 98.7 ESPN. Rod, what's going on? Rod, you there? Rod is not there. Buddha in the Bronx is always there. Buddha, what's up, baby? How you doing?
What's going on, Cat Daddy?
Not a lot. Sweating out the Rutgers game a little bit right now, but I'm good.
Okay. Papa Large, just want to tell him I love him right back. He's a good man. Great caller and good man. It's crazy when you're talking about the sandbox. My call is about the Nets, but real quick, when you said about the sandbox, it just takes me to, I don't know if you've ever been in the park with young kids. A lot of times you have a lot of young kids in terms of this coaching stuff that's going on with the NFL. And you're in the park, you see kids, they have all nationalities, they get along, they play. You know when things get a little hairy? When the adults come. you play with this one, you don't play with that one. I mean, from the mouth of babes, there's a lot of wisdom in youth. We all learn from that. You asked that question about the Nets situation. Who do you feel sorry for? With the Nets, only people I really feel sorry for is the fans. I don't know if you remember, there was a Saturday morning cartoon. It used to be like an infomercial. There used to be a guy named Zach, and he was always talking to you about the future, about jobs, and being aware of being afraid of the future blob. I mean, the Nets, they weren't aware of the future blob. Kyrie Irving, good player. I don't want to get into any of that vaccination stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But dude's been shaky for a couple of years. So when you invest in him, whether he brought Durant along or not, when you invest in him, you knew that there had to be a chance of something going awry, as it's been everywhere that he's been. Harden, to be honest with you, Harden likes to, I don't know if he likes it, but he's being portrayed as like he's the victim in this situation. Stop it. You right along with the same thing with Kyrie, but, the whole thing is, it's not going in your favor in this situation.
Yeah,
So,
what victim? I mean, it's like poor James Harden. You got to be kidding me, right? You're not the victim.
Come on, stop it. I'll stick it with the needle if I need to. I mean, bro, stop it, please. But, the Nets problem really has nothing to do with Kyrie, and it really has nothing to do with Harden. The Nets problem really, and this is the sad part about it, it's the KD problem, is that he's at that stage of his career with the type of body that he has, is that he's susceptible to injury every year. And for some reason, it pops up, every year. So if he wouldn't have been injured, none of this stuff would have happened. None of this trade stuff would have happened. They would have played out this year, see where it took them. And then at the end of the year, they would have decided what they're going to do. As a Sixers fan, if the trade goes through, I won't be unhappy, but I'm not like, cheering with pom-poms or anything like that. I mean, I'll give you Thibault, I'll give you Curry, and I'll give you Tobias Harris, because actually I know what Tobias Harris is.
Well, they almost need to get rid of Tobias Harris,
Listen, I'm not giving you Maxey.
No, I know. I wouldn't give him up either. He's a tremendous player.
I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you. Tyrese Maxey's a really, really, really good player. I don't blame you one bit.
But he's growing, though.
Yep.
You see, the thing is, a lot of times when you look at players, like with Julius Randle for the Knicks or whatever, Randle had a great season last year. It was the best of what he could be. But you knew that there was some shakiness with that. When you got these young guys in the 20, 22, 23 range, you don't know what they're going to be. And I'm sorry. I mean, James Harden, he's a great player and all that, but we don't know where he's at on that abacus of, is he on the downside? Is he, portraying that he's on the downside because he wants to move? I can't invest in that.
I understand that. That would scare me too. 37. Thanks for the call, Buddha. 37 years old. I got to pay attention to that. I have to. We'll get more into it. Frank Isola joins us next. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN.
FanDuel Sportsbook. You are down. Of Super Bowl 56, the Rams and Bengals. To celebrate new customers,
you have Frank's number?
$5 to win $280 in cash on either team to win when you use promo code Carlin when registering. That's right. You're going to get your winnings in cold hard cash because we
you have Frank's
cash
number?
Is always better than free bets. I love the Rams in this game. I'm thinking about tying in the money line with Joe Burrow passing yards and Matthew Stafford passing yards. There's no better place to bet Super Bowl 56 than FanDuel Sportsbook. They have promotions for new and existing customers, same game parlays, tons of Super Bowl props, and more. Don't miss your chance to turn $5 into $280 in cash. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use promo code Carlin this Super Bowl. Again, that's promo code Carlin. 21 and older, present in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. New users only. $10 first.
Chris, is Frank calling us? Or
No, do you have his number?
Can supply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Do you have his number?
I believe I do.
All right, well, I got it for you right here if you need it.
Okay.
I'm going to text it to you.
Go ahead.
Connecticut.
Powerball is now at $158 million. Stop searching for four-leaf clovers and take a chance on Powerball today. With the jackpot win, you could have the power to do it all. Anything can happen in Jersey.
The job search can be a frustrating journey.
I'll be back in
filled
1
with
sec,
long,
okay?
Lonely hours, computer, and countless attempts to get noticed by employers. ZipRecruiter gets it. No one wants to feel alone in their job search. That's why ZipRecruiter's AI does so much of the work for you. They save you time by sending you jobs you can apply to with one click. And they pitch your profile to employers, so you stand out. Job seekers, feel the love. Sign up for free at ZipRecruiter.com. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com.
Are you sick of your dead-end job? Do you crave a career with a better work-life balance, better lifestyle, or maybe you'd like to work from home? It's a new year. Time for a new career in IT. At My Computer Career, you could start your career in months, not years. Attend classes day or night, live online. And we've rolled back tuition to help meet the demand for IT workers. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Change the way you wake up and do it with Rick and Dave. DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekday mornings from 5 to 8 a.m. WEPN FM, New York.
This is SportsCenter. Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. Halftime Game 1 NBA doubleheader on ESPN. Actually, now third quarter on ESPN and the ESPN app. Just getting underway with the Bulls up 15 on Charlotte, 60-47 now as I talk about that one. Game 2 is going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. Utah hosting Golden State, an NBA first, an all-women's crew that will be running that broadcast. The Lakers have a game tonight at Portland. LA struggling, 3 games under 500 this season. The Russell Westbrook edition has not yet helped, and some suggests that it hurts this club. Can they make a move by tomorrow's deadline? Sure. Will it help? ESPN NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski is not sure.
I think just the way their roster is set up and structured, and the money that is invested in Russell Westbrook, and really the very limited scope you have, very limited, of being able to move him. it makes it unlikely, I think, Greeny, that they can do something of that really could dramatically impact this team.
Yeah, it's Adrian Wojnarowski on Greeny earlier here on ESPN Radio. Top 25 college basketball, a good one winding up down in Fort Worth. SMU now up 81-77 on number 6, Houston, and 16th ranked. Ohio State going to overtime, tied with Rutgers at 66, and number 25 Xavier trailing by 5, under 4 to go at Seton Hall.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Matthew Stafford is the reason that they're in the Super Bowl. If there was a playoff MVP, he would be that guy.
More from the guys Thursday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Is Frank there?
My bad habits lead to white eyes staring into space, and I know I lose control.
You're listening to Chris Carlin on 98.7.
Yeah.
It is always intriguing, but particularly this year, that's for sure. And it's not often I get to talk to Frank Isola. I miss him. I miss him so much. He's from the Yes Network, of course. You see him all the time on Nets pre- and post-game. Frank, how are you, my friend?
I miss you too, Chris. I walked by the studio, the old studio on 51st, which is now, I guess, like an MLB, store where they sell all kinds of merchandise. Brought back a lot of members. We had some fun times over there back in the day.
We did at SNY back in the day. But Frank, you were on to bigger and better things as usual. Let's delve right in. First of all, what is your take on the whole Harden situation with the Nets right now?
I mean, they're definitely talking to Philadelphia, and I think if the Nets can get a deal that they believe that will help them now and in the future, I think they'll do it. I think that they think that this offseason that they could still get a deal for Ben Simmons. I think there's more pressure on Philadelphia, but look at what Harden has done. Really over the past week, he had he missed some games with a strained right hand. He is left-handed. I don't know why that would be an issue. Now I know he has had issues with his hamstring, but if you look at his history, he plays a lot. And when he wanted out of Houston, he kind of stopped playing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a coincidence, but right now he has stopped playing for the Brooklyn Nets. He doesn't seem happy. Clearly, Daryl Morey wants him. If the Nets could get a deal, listen, they've asked for Simmons and Tyrese Maxey. The Philadelphia 76ers do not want to give up Tyrese Maxey, which is understandable. Could they get it done with Seth Curry? Maybe Seth Curry, the number 1 pick. Maybe the Nets would do that. I just think right now, because it's not 3:00 yet, the two teams are kind of being stubborn in terms of making a move here.
Frank, why do you think, if it has soured, it has gone awry so quickly for James Harden in just over a year in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I don't understand it because, if you do look at, the way that they played in the first round last year against Boston, they blew them out. And then, they won games 1 and 2 against Milwaukee handily. And then, Harden hurt his hamstring. Kyrie got hurt in game 4. And it still took, Milwaukee to make some big plays down the stretch and in overtime to make it to a conference final. If the Nets had won that series, there's a good chance Kyrie maybe could have come back, but Harden, I think, would have been healthier. The Nets would have had a really good chance to go to the NBA Finals. I think he's upset that he worked his way out of Houston, and now he's with the Brooklyn Nets. And this moment, Kevin Durant is hurt. That's no fault of Kevin Durant. But I think he's pretty frustrated with the whole thing with Kyrie Irving because with Kyrie, let's face it, it's always something. And forget about taking a stance either way, vaccination, no vaccination. But with Kyrie, again, it's always something. First year he was hurt a lot. Last year, he ghosted the team for about 2 weeks. He got suspended because he was out in public at a birthday party for his sister without a mask on and everything like that. And right now, he didn't get the vaccine, so he can only play in the road games. And it almost feels, and this is just my opinion, it almost feels as if Harden said, you know what, when we're at home, it's got to be me and all these guys. Now when we're on the road, I'm going to sit out some games and you see how you like it, having to do this. And I think that's probably part of the frustration. And remember this too about Harden. I like him. I thought last year, Chris, I thought for a long time, that it was him and Jokic neck and neck for MVP. Then, of course, Harden got hurt. But, Chris Paul didn't really enjoy playing with him in Houston. He and Russell Westbrook didn't really hit it off. I mean, it seems like he and Durant are buddies, but maybe that's even soured a little bit too. I mean, Harden does have a history where some of his teammates don't like playing for him, and they gave him the keys to the offense when Chris Paul was there. it looks like Chris Paul's done a pretty good job with the keys to the offense in Phoenix.
Frank Isola with us, Yes Network. Yeah, to say the least, he has. And at the same time, it is amazing that that's the case, because you think about when Harden got here and it's, nope, I'm good. I'm going to take a step back. I'll be the facilitator. Kyrie, you go be the guy that gets it done scoring-wise. And yet now, because Kyrie has kind of been allowed to do what he wants, here we are. That brings me to Durant, Frank. Think about this. Durant handcuffed himself to Kyrie, and now he's in this situation, and now he's also locked in long term. If he had a chance at a do-over, would he stay in Golden State?
It's interesting, right? I thought that at the time I didn't understand why he left, because he took so much criticism to go into the Golden State Warriors. But let's face it, it worked. He went there in the first 2 years. They were the champs. He was the Finals MVP back-to-back years. He outplayed LeBron in the Finals. Of course, he hurt his ankle, then ended up blowing out his Achilles up in Toronto. But they did win that game. The 10 Finals games that he appeared in with the Warriors, they were 9-1. That's not easy to do. They went 9-1 in the 10 Finals games that he played. If he didn't get hurt that year up, in Toronto, they would have won the series that year as well. To me, it never made sense. I think he gets caught up in this idea. I'm doing it. It's not really my team, and people still think that I'm just a mercenary. Let me go somewhere with another guy, and if I win it there, I'll be looked at differently. So he joins up with Kyrie, which I agree with you. I don't know how you leave Steph Curry for Kyrie, but now that he's here, the thing that which for me is a little tough to take. We know how it is, Chris, and you've been around all these great players. They're the best of the best in their own kind of way. Could be high maintenance, and sometimes they could be a diva. It's, whether it's Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, LeBron, I don't care who it is, but they also produce. The problem with the Nets is, they have kind of three high maintenance players, divas. I don't even mean in a negative way. The problem is the two other guys are more divas and high maintenance than Kevin Durant is. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is the one that's kind of fitting in and trying to do everything that he can do to make it work. That's the part I don't understand. I just think that James Harden and Kyrie, I don't think they've been fair to Kevin Durant. He's the one that's really putting his reputation on the line, especially in the case of Harden. You want to win a championship, why wouldn't you want it to work here with Kevin Durant? It's Kyrie Irving. Try to figure out a way where you can play in more games with this guy. Chris, as you know, I get to do the games on the Yes Network, so I've seen him, for 2 straight years every night. The guy is incredible. He makes everyone around him better. Notice how the minute he leaves, they lose 8 games in a row. That tells you, A, the roster isn't that great. Also, tells you a little something about Kyrie and James Harden, that they can't take subpar talent and even win a game, even when they lost last week on the road in Sacramento. So I don't get it. I don't think they're being. I get it. Everyone's kind of an independent contractor. I just think they're kind of letting down Kevin Durant in a lot of ways.
Frank Isola with us, Yes Network. With that in mind, Frank, let's argue for a moment, hypothetically, that a deal actually goes through, that Harden goes to Philadelphia, and that the Nets end up with Ben Simmons. How would you like that group of Durant with Simmons and Irving as a dynamic?
Oh, I think it would be lights out. First of all, just because of Kevin Durant, I think it's going to work. Ben Simmons will essentially play the center position. And, listen, is it going to be hard when they have to go up against Philadelphia? Absolutely. Jokic on Denver, even though that they've already played them. But let's say, for argument's sake, they're playing Philadelphia in the playoffs. They're going to double team Embiid anyway, so it's really not going to matter if Ben Simmons is on him. It just makes you a much better defensive team. See, I'm one of these people, I think Simmons is salvageable. I don't like the way that he's handled it. I think he made a big mistake by not showing up for training camp on time. I think he's making a huge mistake by not playing. The longer he's out, it almost makes him impossible to go back to Philadelphia. The fans are going to crush him there. I think in Brooklyn it'll be a little bit different. I think the fans will embrace him. Again, playing with Durant, I think that take a little bit of pressure off him. Playing with Kyrie, it's going to take some of the scoring pressure off him. He's still a great player. And the free throw thing, Chris, that's got to improve. But we've seen this over the years with guys. Even Karl Malone back in the day was not a good free throw shooter. Giannis Antetokounmpo was not a good free throw shooter in essentially the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Then in the biggest game of his life, a closeout game in the NBA Finals, what was he, either 17 of 19 or 18 for 19, whatever it was. So he had this incredible journey even during the playoffs. So to me, all that stuff could be worked out. I think for the Nets, and plus, Chris, let's face it, you mentioned Durant's already signed. Which it's incredible that he came to the Brooklyn Nets. It's incredible that he's already signed an extension to stay there. You had a guy like Ben Simmons who's young and has a lot of basketball in him. That makes you a really tough team in the Eastern Conference for the next 3-4 years.
Frank Isola with us. The only thing I'll push back on is Simmons and the desire to get better at his weaknesses. I was there in Philly when he got drafted, and that's what bothers me the most about him. He loves doing the things that he does great, but I don't think he really attacks the weaknesses to get better.
I think, that's all fair. And I know people that are close to him talked to him over the summer, and they were getting on him after the way that he played last year, that, he needed to be working a little bit more. Now, listen, he got engaged. He's, hanging out with the model from England, Maya Jama. So, his personal life now is probably in order. But you're 100% right. Listen, it's still going to be on the player. I just think, if you talk to the guys that were at the Olympics, and that's another thing, Ben Simmons didn't go to the Olympics, which is a big mistake. But you talk to anybody that was associated with the United States national team, and whether it was players or coaches, they were all blown away by the work ethic of Kevin Durant. The Chicago Bulls talk about how Zach LaVine went to, was with the national team, came back, obviously played a role on a gold medal team, and came back a different player. A lot of it had to do with just being around a guy like Kevin Durant and really seeing how serious he was at his craft and how hard that he worked. And, Ben Simmons wants it to work. And if he wants to be serious, because to your point, right now, I understand it's hard to have a lot of confidence in him. But, he's going to want to change the scenery. And if he's a real guy that's serious about getting better, he'll put the work in. I think that's probably what the Nets are banking on if this deal does go down.
All right, Frank, when you look at the Knicks, how do you evaluate the situation? Was it, just in general, how do you evaluate the situation right now?
Yeah, I think as good as they were last year, they've kind of been that poor this season. Obviously, Julius Randle was a different player. Does that have something to do with he spent most of the season playing in an empty arena in Madison Square Garden? Maybe the pressure, especially of signing a big extension, has gotten to him. I think not having Derrick Rose has been big because the point guard situation is messed up. It's funny, too. When they went out and got Kemba Walker, all of last season, the Boston Celtics, Kemba Walker never played a back-to-back. They held him out of a ton of games to get him ready for the playoffs. Then what happened in the playoffs? He didn't play in Game 4 and he didn't play in Game 5 because he was hurt. I mean, maybe he didn't even play in Game 3, but I think it was just the last 2 games. Listen, there's a lot to like about Kemba Walker, but he's essentially at this point a backup who could only play about 20 minutes a night. So I think people are being a little unrealistic when the Knicks got him. I mean, Boston, which loves their first-round picks, had to trade a first-round pick with Kemba Walker to get Oklahoma City to take him. Then Oklahoma City, which didn't buy out Chris Paul and they got him, bought out Kemba Walker. So I think that, I think people were a little too caught up in the whole, Kemba Walker, New Yorker. And Evan Fournier is just an okay player. I just don't think their talent is good enough. Look at the Eastern Conference. Look at some of the big stars in the East. You can make the case right now that the two, neck and neck for MVP are Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Knicks don't have anybody like that. They don't have anybody like Kevin Durant. They don't have anybody like Jason Tatum. And Chicago has had a breakout year for DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. And guess what? When Alex Caruso returns and Lonzo Ball returns, Chicago's going to be that much better as well.
What do you make of the fact that we're not seeing a lot of Cam Reddish, or the same thing with Kemba in this offseason, how quickly Tibbs had the hook on him, and these are moves that the front office is making?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Kemba Walker, when he missed those 8 straight games, everyone's convinced that he was going to play in those 8 straight games. And then when he first came back, people didn't take into account, well, how about the fact that he just rested for 2 weeks, and maybe that's why he played at this insane level the first few games that he came back. The Cam Reddish thing, I don't understand. All right, so the Atlanta Hawks last year made the Eastern Conference Finals. Cam Reddish was not even a part of that. All right, so he wasn't even part of the making the conference finals. The Knicks get him, and Atlanta then rattles off 7 straight wins. But yet he's going to help the Knicks out somehow by replacing a guy in the rotation in Kevin Knox that wasn't even playing. I just don't understand the idea that they get this guy and right away he should play. Based on what? If he hasn't earned it yet. I think if he's going to earn his time in practice, I think he'll eventually get in there. But at a time when the Knicks are kind of desperate for wins, I don't know. I don't think it just makes sense to stick a guy in who certainly wasn't helping the last team he was on. And if Cam Reddish was any good, are the Atlanta Hawks really trading him in the conference to a team that they met last year in the playoffs? I think people are overrating right at this moment Cam Reddish. Maybe the whole thing that he went to Duke, and maybe it's just that he's a new player that the Knicks have added. But I don't know, give it some time. Let him kind of earn his way into playing time as opposed to him just giving him playing time, because he certainly wasn't playing for Atlanta.
All right, last one, Frank. Just these two teams before the deadline tomorrow. Do you expect Harden to move? Do you expect anything from the Knicks before the deadline tomorrow?
I think if the Knicks make a move, I could see it being somebody like Alec Burks. I could see him moving, and maybe guess what? That could open up, maybe some space for Cam Reddish to get some minutes. Even though I still think a big thing is trying to get Derrick Rose back. From everything that I've heard from people that are kind of involved in this, they've said 50-50. The way everything has transpired over the last couple of days, I just feel like it's going to happen with James Harden. I really do. Maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I didn't. I just get a feeling that something's going to happen. So I think, there's a very good chance you could see James Harden on the move, and maybe with the Knicks it'll be a minor thing like Alec Burks.
Frank, I brought this up with Michael earlier today when I told him you were coming on. How have you not aged in 35 years? How do you do it, Frank?
Maybe it's because maybe I spend too much time in the sun. That's what it is. Come on, it's trick lighting in the studio.
All right, let me ask you this, and be honest with me. Have you gone to the Just for Men? Because your hair is just phenomenal, and it always has been.
Watch closely more. I have like a lot of gray on the side.
Really?
And in the front.
Do you have the Paulie Walnuts wings?
Yeah, I might have to start covering that stuff up. Pretty soon.
Frank, you're the best. Thanks, man.
When it's longer, it's harder to see it. When it's shorter, it's easier to see it.
Well,
so,
at least you have it.
I'll leave it at that.
At least you have it.
What's that?
I said, at least you have it.
I'll keep it nice and tight. You'll be able to see it all on the side. My wife loves it like that.
My wife would love to see me with.
She does like, believe it or
not. My wife has never known me with hair, Frank.
I remember you back in the day when you were a young star on the big show.
Yeah.
Do you miss those days beyond?
Frank, that's when I had hair and then I didn't. Do you think that was a coincidence?
Do you look back on those days, and it has to make you laugh, right? The whole thing.
Oh yeah,
a little whack.
Oh yeah, it makes me laugh. It was an incredible experience. I mean, everything you get to do, it's nuts. I mean, I don't know anybody else that combed the Alamo Dome during an NBA Finals game looking for an ice cream sandwich for 35 minutes and was told not to come back without one.
That's great. I was on with one of your guys just the other day.
Oh, with Dog?
Chris Russo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought he had 3 kids. I didn't realize he had 4, and 3 of them are in college. So we know that Chris can afford it, but it's actually good to know that he has to spend a lot of money to send his kids to school.
It's good to know that all of that money is getting used.
Yeah, my kids are finally out, and now I realize how much college was. In fact, for my son, all he's done is travel ever since he graduated from Northwestern. So I'm going to sue the school. I want to get my money back. I'm not happy with the product, so I'm going to see if I can get a refund.
He got a degree in travel. I love it.
He majored in tourism, I think. He went away so long, and I kid you not when I tell you this. He figured out the paperwork. He came back an Italian citizen.
That's amazing.
So now he doesn't work in 2 countries. What a gig this guy's got. He's in Mexico right now. He's been there for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's amazing.
Like Mayan ruins and stuff while his idiot father works 3 jobs.
Frank, you're the best. Good talking to you, brother.
Good care, Chris.
Talk soon. Frank Isola. Now he doesn't work in 2 countries. That's a great line. 800-919-3776. Deadline tomorrow, 3 p.m. We get into why the biggest loser in the whole Nets situation is Kevin Durant, and how this Knicks situation has just really gotten away from him, and one massive miscalculation has done them in. I want to know who you blame the most. Not who you blame the most, but who's the biggest loser in this Nets situation with James Harden? Lines are open for that at 800-919-3776. Also, anything you want on the deadline and who you blame the most. We've gotten into this some, but more who you blame the most for the utter disaster that the Knicks season has turned into. I mean, last night after the show, I flipping on for a few minutes and they got, 50 before they even blink in the first half. Holy crap. 800-919-3776. Also said goodbye to a very important figure in tri-state area sports. That in just moments. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN.
It's Carlin
I am a golden god!
on 98.7 ESPN.
If someone relies on, all right, you are down, or be it a child, aging parent, or even a business partner, you need life insurance. Life insurance can give you peace of mind that if something happens to you, your loved ones will have a financial cushion for bills and everyday expenses. Policy Genius is your one-stop shop to find and buy the insurance you need. Head to policygenius.com and answer a few questions. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find your lowest price. You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. The team of licensed experts at Policy Genius can help you understand your options and apply for the policy you choose. The Policy Genius team works for you, not the insurance companies. That's important. They will offer unbiased help and advocate for you until you're covered. Head to policygenius.com to get your life insurance quotes and see how much you could save.
The ongoing breakfast debate deal. There are three schools of thought about dipping your McDonald's breakfast in ketchup. The first is that it enhances it. The second is that it doesn't. And the third is that it's just exciting to have an excuse to try more than one breakfast sandwich.
I hit the spot.
Enjoy a sausage McMuffin with egg, bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or chicken McGriddles. Mix and match any two for just $5. Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
New York City's newest and most exclusive gentlemen's club from the world-famous Spearmint Rhino is now open. 5 floors of sexy dancers from around the globe, bringing New York's entertainment back to life. All the fun, all the class, uncover the real New York nightlife and see what everyone's talking about. The new Spearmint Rhino Gentlemen's Club, 622 West 47th Street, Manhattan. For club events, talent, and features, visit SpearmintRhinoNYC.com.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead. With Fidelity Income Planning, we'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time without the unnecessary.
Hey, Chris, can we do the giveaway here again?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
To living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
It's Super Bowl 56. Rams and Bengals, and FanDuel Sportsbook is giving all customers a risk-free same-game parlay. Place any same-game parlay of 3 legs or more on the Super Bowl, and if you don't win, FanDuel will refund you. Same-game parlays combine multiple bets from the same game into one wager for big payouts. Build your parlay with spreads, money lines, Super Bowl props, and more. I can tie in the length of the national anthem over-under along with the money line with the Rams and passing yards for Joe Burrow. I bet on FanDuel because when I win, I get paid fast. FanDuel, place your risk same game before the Super Bowl to qualify. New customers use promo code Carlin to enjoy 56-1 odds on either team to win the Super Bowl. You can turn a $5 bet into $200. Promo code Carlin. 21 and older, present in New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-789-7777 in Connecticut.
Coming back here, Chris.
Or in New Jersey, or 1-877-8-HOPE-NY in New York.
I swear to God,
Yes, my friends, 98.7 ESPN and FanDuel present Countdown to Kickoff Friday, February 11th. It is a virtual chalk talk with Chris Canty, Peter Rosenberg, and myself. It's a VIP Zoom party on the Friday before the big game. We're going to break down the matchup, talk some big money bets. To score your VIP access pass, be the first caller right now at 888-987-ESPN. That's 888-987-3776. It's 98.7 ESPN's Countdown to Kickoff, presented by FanDuel. Start dialing, be a part of that. Very much looking forward to that on Friday. We're going to have fun between myself, Chris, and Peter, and all of you who join us. Looking forward to it. 800-919-3776. You know, I've been spending a lot of time today thinking about how this whole Harden thing has completely devolved into such a bizarre situation, and how in just slightly over a year, James Harden has basically quit on two teams. He quit on the Houston Rockets, trying to get out of town. They traded him to Brooklyn to play with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. The three players have played together 16 games. He came to Brooklyn. He said, I'm going to take the passive approach. I'm going to be the guy that's going to facilitate everybody else. I want to win. Let's make this happen. A little over a year later, Kyrie basically plays when he wants. Whatever you want to argue about him standing up for his rights, which I think is good, or standing up for a cause, which I think is good, it still shows that basketball is not a priority for him, comparatively speaking. And yet, now we're talking about bringing in Ben Simmons, who's an exceptionally talented player, but comes with his own warts. The biggest loser in all of this is Kevin Durant. Think about being Kevin Durant for a second. Let's take the money out of it. Kevin Durant somehow got hooked in to following Kyrie Irving to New York. And I don't know if he's got some sort of Svengali kind of ability to influence Durant. Whatever it is, that influenced him greatly. And it's a bizarre situation to see it play out the way that it did. So now Durant, in buying into Kyrie, wanting to come here and win, has seen Kyrie basically take time off last year when he wanted to, and then this year has played less than half the games. Durant himself almost took the Nets to the conference finals last year, but he didn't. The Nets have won one round of playoffs since Irving and KD were here. KD got paid for an entire year without playing, and now they're all back trying to win championships, but nobody's on the same page, and Harden wants out. KD left Steph Curry. KD left Klay Thompson in Golden State. You can't have a better situation than he did. And yet here we are. He left because he thought it was going to help his legacy long term. It's going to hurt his legacy long term because he hitched his wagon to two of the more mercurial players in the league, and guess what? He got burned. KD's the one that got kicked in the pants on this one. And you know what? He made his own bed, because when people show you who they are, you need to believe them. And he did not believe them. He thought, you come, you play with me, we will make this all work together. That does not change people. It does not. 800-919-3776. Lines are open. Is Kevin Durant the guy that ultimately is the biggest loser in all of this. I want to get your take on that, especially if, in fact, he does, Harden, that is, get moved tomorrow by the trade deadline. I do want to spend a minute because this week we lost a giant in New Jersey sports, and that's Bob Mulcahy, who was the athletic director at Rutgers for many years, was the head of the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, and just a terrific individual, 85 years old. I got to know Bob 20 years ago when he hired Greg Schiano and brought me on board to do sideline for the football broadcast. Now, I never like to use I when I talk about somebody else's legacy, but I look at what Bob did for me personally, and it just speaks to me to the person that he is. Let's talk about his accomplishments first. Got Rutgers completely turned around from an athletic standpoint. They were completely lost when he got there. He hires Greg Schiano in 2001, and within a few years, that program is getting nationally recognized. And now that he's back, hopefully going to be back in that same spot. And the rising tide of football lifts all boats. And you saw some incredible runs. You saw the women's basketball team make a run to the national championship game in 2007. Bob is singularly responsible for my Rutgers life, 20 years of it, and I would never be able to thank him enough for that because some of my best friends have come from my relationships at that university. I was paired with Tom McCarthy, who, of course, does the Phillies and one of the great voices on CBS now, who did the play-by-play, and Tim Pernetti, who went on to be Bob's successor at Rutgers and a great friend and a terrific athletic director. And, you know, we all know what happened there. Bob got hosed in his situation. Tim got hosed in his situation. But I owe that to Bob, that these two guys are just some of my best friends. But at the same time, a few years later, gave me a chance to do Rutgers basketball. I did that for 8 years. Incredible experience. But if you want to know about Bob, the person, because, again, I don't like talking about me so much in this, but when I think of Bob, it's loyalty, it's generosity, it's kindness. The kindness that I saw Bob show to so many people, the generosity that I saw Bob show to so many people who worked for him, and the loyalty that he showed to people was unmatched. A brief example. In 2007, you had the whole issue with the offensive comment that Imus made about the Rutgers women's basketball team. You may know this, you may not. At the time, I did the sports on the Imus in the Morning show. That particular week, I got just what was the absolute worst flu I have had in my entire life. So I was not there when he made the comment. And so that week went on. I honestly did not know about it until like 2 or 3 days after it happened. But that story started to pick up steam, and I was out the rest of the week, knocked out by this flu. And I was newly married, a couple of months in, and just I got angrier and angrier about the comment as the days went by. And so that Sunday, when I was ready to go back to work on Monday, I talked it over with my wife and really didn't want to do it because I did not want to support Imus in any way in what he had said. Because I did believe that there were some bigger things behind what he said. And so I called my boss. I said, I'm not coming to work tomorrow. And he said, well, you're telling me you're quitting. I said, I'm not quitting, but I don't want to support what's going on here. And I was genuinely worried about how the people at Rutgers were going to feel about me. And Bob Mulcahy picked up the phone, unsolicited, and said, listen, don't worry about it. We know you weren't part of this. We know who you are. You're one of us. You're part of our family. You have nothing to do with this. Go to work tomorrow. Don't be stupid and lose your job. This is going to resolve itself. And it did. And for me at that time, that basically I'm making the decision that I could end my career in that moment. And Bob just said, no, just go. He was exceptionally generous to me over the years, to my family, to my wife, Cheryl. He was at our wedding. He and his wife, Terry, and their family. I know Deirdre, one of his daughters, very well. Megan as well. Ryan Hart, former quarterback at Rutgers, is his son-in-law. Terry passed away last year. Just good people. But for Bob, the way that he treated people, I just thought was spectacular. And he was great, and I will always owe a lot to him. And I still feel like I talked about me entirely too much in that story, but it was more about the person that he was. But we're going to miss Bob. And thank you, Bob, for everything that you did for me, because it's an awful lot. That's for sure. And it has meant the world to me. And I'm thinking of his family. I'm thinking of Deirdre and Megan and all their brothers and sisters and all the grandchildren as well, as they go through this difficult time. Rest in peace, Bob. We'll come back. Carlin, 98.7 ESPN.
Here's some big news. Just in time for the Super Bowl, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, is officially live right here in New York State. And DraftKings is giving new customers a special offer that you don't want to miss. Bet just $5 or more on the Super Bowl and win $200
Is that all right, PJ?
bets if your team is victorious. And don't miss out on all the fun prop bets DraftKings Sportsbook has to offer. Best of all, you could deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up using code EMPIRE. Bet just $5 or more and win $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's code EMPIRE this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you now.
I don't know what happened there.
Must be 21 plus and physically
Does
present
that work out okay?
Gambling problem?
Yeah, it was great.
877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Wish I got to know.
New York City's newest and most exclusive gentlemen's club from the world-famous Spearmint
there was a
Rhino
lot
is
with
now
Bob,
open.
but
5 floors of sexy dancers from
man.
around the globe,
Nice
bringing New York's entertainment back to life. All the fun, all the class, and cover the real New York nightlife and see what everyone's talking about. The new Spearmint Rhino Gentlemen's Club, 622 West 47th Street, Manhattan. For club events, talent, and features, visit SpearmintRhinoNYC.com.
A new you starts with making changes for the better. Get a fresh start with Optimum Mobile and enjoy 5G mobile service at a great price. Plans start at $19 a month. With the coverage, reliability, and speed of the T-Mobile network, stream fresh new shows or video chat with your friends and family at 5G speed. Need a phone refresh? Optimum Mobile has the latest 5G phones with the best pricing. Or you can keep the phone you love and bring your own. Kick the year off with great savings and make the switch to Optimum Mobile. With plans starting as low as $19 a month, it's a great way
Guys,
to
where
connect
are we on
at a great
breaks? I
price.
probably owe you
Visit
two.
Optimum.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can make this short segment here coming back.
And to
All
learn
right.
how you can save even more with Optimum Internet plus mobile savings. Optimum Mobile. Bigger bars.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to put the Isola as a separate audio unless you want them together.
Best pricing on phones with 36-month financing.
For the podcast.
Okay, you can put
Plans are on
Frank's
all
up there.
plans.
Okay, sounds good.
It's required.
The end of the football season includes good food, great drinks, even better, friends. Jack Daniels has been a star player for over 150 years and is proud to be here again. Cheers for big plays or toast a touchdown. Jack Daniels is best served at the center of the action. Make Jack Daniels a part of your game day tradition by grabbing a bottle locally where fine spirits are sold. This year, take the action to another level by logging on to DraftKings and signing up for the final football face-off for your chance to win $20,000 in cash prizes courtesy of Jack Daniels. No purchase necessary. Drink smooth. Draft smart. Make it count.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-961-8198. That's 800-961-8198. 800-961-98.
Come back here, Chris.
They're loaded. Let's roll. Shay, Jersey, next. 98.7 ESPN. Shay, what do you got tonight, dude?
Chris, what's going on?
How are you, bud?
I'm good. So first of all, I just want to say that that tribute you just made to Bob was well done, and I never knew the man, but honestly, just listening to you, I found that very touching, and well done. I think you paid some nice respect to him.
I appreciate that.
Secondly, all right, no problem. And secondly, I also have to give you credit where credit is due. I listened to the whole 98.7 lineup up and down. Something about you, Chris. I think it's the growl in your voice. You just say everything with this hard conviction. I think you're my favorite dude on 98.7. I just got to say it. So,
well, I guess what I would say to that is it's about time.
All right. I'll give it to you. You know, with that, that tough conviction, I feel like if you would say Cinderella was the bad guy in her story, I'd believe you. You just, it's all.
Well, she was the worst. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. She's relying on. Cinderella is relying on the labor of all these little people, unfortunately, to get everything done for her. I mean, she's just the absolute worst. No, that's Snow White. I got the wrong princess. No, Cinderella. I mean, she got the breaks that her sister didn't get. I'm sorry, I mixed it up.
All right. It's true. See, I believe you. It's just I don't know what it is about you, Chris. All right, but here's my point. Here's why I'm calling. Your question. All right, about the Nets. Okay, I want to admit off the bat. All right, I'm not the hugest basketball guy. I don't know every number. I don't know every stat. I'm a casual fan, but. Why, when you asked the question, this was your question, right? Who's the biggest loser and whose fault is it here, right? And you did kind of touch on it just now, like after you asked the question. Why are we not talking about James Harden himself? Because like you just said, I mean, again, as a casual basketball fan, this dude's got a history of doing this, clearly. I mean, he seems a little immature. Am I incorrect? I'm going to ask you honestly here. Because everything he did with the Rockets, and then now it's falling apart here with Brooklyn. People are saying Kyrie pissed him off. The team pissed him off. This pissed him off. Why are you looking for things to blame of what pissed him off? Why don't we point at him and just say the guy clearly has a history of being a diva?
Well, there's no question there's that history, and thanks for the call. I mean, just again, when people show you what they are, believe them. And we saw this from him a little over a year ago, and now he's forcing his way out. I mean, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? It's not all that long ago. D in Brookfield, next, 98.7 ESPN. D.
Hey, Chris, I never thought I could feel sorry for Kevin Durant, but man, you broke my heart. I feel so bad.
All right, well, let's not get nuts here.
Durant got hoodwinked. He got hoodwinked by the Odell Beckham Jr. of the NBA and Kyrie Irving. And James Harden sees the writing on the wall. He wants out. He's like, this is not happening. I want to go win a championship. And I think you're right. if they made that trade and Ben Simmons came to the Nets, that would be great. But the reason why I'm calling, I think the GM for the Knicks is the one screwing up that team. He did not bring any talent back to that team, and Thibodeau is beside himself with, get me some freaking talent. I mean, who's he got to play with? We still don't have a point guard 25 years later. Who's going to make this team right? I don't understand how it's so difficult.
Well, the point guard thing is just, it's maddening. And thanks for the call, D. I mean, how can we still be here at this point? It's unreal. It's just unreal. And I get where Tibbs is coming from, but Tibbs bears some responsibility here too, because you have to try to make it work with what you got. He did last year, but this year he didn't want Kemba. He had him. He didn't want Cam Reddish. He has him. And he really hasn't tried to make it work with either one of them. So some of it is absolutely on him.
It's Carlin.
Dynamite drop-in money at broadcast school has really paid off.
On 98.7 ESPN.
Anyone who has ever it can be. You have to rent or borrow a truck and then find someone to help you move your stuff. And let's face it, moving furniture and heavy items without damaging them isn't easy. Renting the unit is worse. The hidden fees and admin costs are scarier than the dingy facilities you're leaving your stuff in. Why not use Closet Box instead? Closet Box is self-storage without leaving home. They'll pick up your belongings, store them securely, and bring any item back when you need it. The best part? Unlike traditional self-storage, you only pay for what you store. No paying for unused storage space. Closet Box's background check storage movers are licensed, bonded, and insured and will take care of all of the heavy lifting. Closet Box's local storage centers are temperature controlled and monitored 24/7. Closet Box has an A+ rating from the BBB. Call 877-233-5696 now for the season's best rates. Get $50 off first month storage using code RADIO50. That's 877-233-5696. 877-233-5696.
I'm so thrilled to have you two under my roof again.
Us too, Grammy. I've been dreaming of your apple pie.
Slow down, little brother. Dinner first. And news. Now that Mom got her booster, we booked her that surprise trip to see Aunt Stella.
It's a long time coming. She's gonna flip.
Mm-hmm. Next stop, chilling in the sun.
Well, now that Pops and I are boosted, we might just hop in her luggage.
COVID-19 vaccine boosters are now available for people 12 and older. Protection wanes over time, so find an appointment today at covid19.nj.gov.
Hey, sports fans, Larry Hardesty here to let you know that Typical Sportsbook, a global sports betting leader, is now live in New Jersey. And 98.7 listeners can claim an exclusive no-brainer offer. Deposit $10 to get $100 in instant side credit. That's right, $100 for free, instantly. Get it now at typical.com. That's TIPICO.com. Or download the app. Typical Sportsbook. Let's make this interesting. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and over to play. See site for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. With NJ Diet, it only takes 40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. Since NJ Diet is a contractually guaranteed money-back program, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. NJ Diet is 100% tailored to you by using bioenergetically personalized supplements based on your hair, saliva, and blood work. Then NJ Diet uses DNA testing to create your ideal diet plan and workout regimen to help you keep it off. 40 days up to 40 pounds can be a real thing. Unlike other weight loss systems, NJ Diet is all natural. No shots, no hormones, no prepackaged foods, and no surgery. With offices throughout the tri-state area or from home with live online video consultations. Start your new year off right by calling them now at 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56 Rams and Bengals. To celebrate, new customers can bet $5 to win $280 in cash on either team to win when you use promo code Gordon when signing up. That's right, you'll get your winnings in cold hard cash because they know cash is always better than free bets. One bet I'd be looking at, neither team to score on their opening drive. There's no better place to bet the Super Bowl than with FanDuel Sportsbook. They have promotions for new and existing customers, same game parlays, tons the Super Bowl props, and a whole lot more. Don't miss your chance to turn $5 into $280 in cash. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use promo code Gordon at the Super Bowl again. Use promo code Gordon. Now, you must be 21 or older, present in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. New users only. $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max bonus $280. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY in New York. 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey. 1-888-789-7777 in Connecticut.
Do you want to gain stability, benefits, and experience? As a youth development specialist with the City of New York, you can build a solid civil service career working with NYC's youth. Start earning over $47,000, and in 6 months, you could get a $5,000 bonus, earn a pension, paid overtime, healthcare, and in just 5 years, over $62,000. Apply now at nyc.gov/YDS. Make a difference in the lives of our youth. Become a youth development specialist today. Learn more at nyc.gov/YDS.
New York City's newest and most exclusive gentlemen's club from the world-famous Spearmint Rhino is now open. 5 floors of sexy dancers from around the globe, bringing New York's entertainment back to life. All the fun, all the class, uncover the real New York nightlife and see what everyone's talking about. The new Spearmint Rhino Gentlemen's Club, 622
All right, Chris, coming back here.
Manhattan. Club events, talent, and features. Visit SpearmintRhinoNYC.com.
Powerball is now at $158 million. Stop searching for 4-leaf clovers and take a chance on Powerball today. With the jackpot win, you could have the power to do it all. Anything can happen in Jersey.
Islanders hockey coming up in just a bit. Right now is more of your calls at 800-919-3776. Gus, Queens, next. 98.7 ESPN. Gus, what's up?
Hey, Colin, thanks so much. Firstly, my condolences to Rutgers, New Jersey. You sounded like a real difference maker, which is, I think, all you could really want to be in life. So, and I'm glad he shedded some light on you because, like the other caller said, you being here on ESPN is dynamite. They scored big time with you. You're a top-tier host.
Appreciate that, man.
And, yeah. And, but I want to talk about the Nets and the Knicks a little bit, which they both lack leadership. I don't think the Nets are going to win this year. I know everyone's like, especially Bart, he thinks once they have all 3 guys back together, they're going to make something happen. But they all lack leadership. They all lack like to carry a team. And I know they showed some of that, but still, I think the best chance was last year. And now that this year is going to happen, they're not going to get the calls like the superstars usually get, or not get calls on them like the superstars usually get. It's a different rule system now, and it's not going to work for them anymore.
The problem, the problem on you talk about for the Knicks or for the Nets?
The Nets. I'm still on the Nets right now.
Yeah, their opportunity when you lost Harden, he got injured. You almost had Durant basically carry you home to get to the conference finals alone. I mean, that would have been impressive enough, but this is not a situation that should have fallen apart this quickly. And yet it has. Thanks for the call, because you've got these guys who are just unpredictable in how they're going to react in situations. I mean, Durant has been the leader of this group. He can be a little touchy at times, but he's certainly not what Harden is, and he's certainly not what Kyrie Irving is. My thing is, how did Kevin Durant allow himself to be influenced by Kyrie Irving to come to this situation and make this be the winning one for him? That's what I want to know. Like, what was that deciding factor? David in Brooklyn next, 98.7 ESPN. Hey, David.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you, bud?
I'm doing all right. I want to talk about the Nets. I'm a big Nets fan. Been for many years. And I'm very disappointed. I think Kyrie Irving is really the biggest loser on our team. He's just like this whole team is falling apart. We're on a 9-game losing streak, and I'm not even surprised a little bit. I'm just really disappointed, and I think I feel bad for Kevin Durant. I really do. You know.
I mean, I feel bad for Durant in that he, you know, I'm sure this is not how he expected it to play out, and thanks for the call. But at the same time, when you think that somehow you're immediately going to be able to change people, that's on you, man. That's on you. You're the one that made that decision. So ultimately, Durant, in buying into whatever Irving was selling, listen, he takes that one on the chin. Dan's in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Next, 98.7 ESPN. Danny, what's cooking?
Hey, what's going on, Chris?
How are you, bud?
Pretty good, bud. Hey, listen, my condolences. Rest in peace to Bob Mulcahy. I've heard the name plenty of times. Some of my older siblings are alumni at Rutgers, and obviously I live in Woodbridge. We're not too far from there. But as close as he was to you, so first my condolences, and you did him a lot of respect. What the other caller said, did him a lot of respect. And again, it's a pleasure to be on the phone with you on the call. Long-time listener, you're one of the favorites. You're one of my favorites now. The way you take angles on everything, not just voice but and presentation, but you come at things with a great angle that other people don't take a look at with those eyes, right?
That's what I try to do, and I appreciate that. That's about the best compliment you could give me.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. All right, so listen, we're gonna talk a little bit real quick about Knicks and Nets. I know you got a lot of calls. First, you said who's the biggest loser? I think it's the New York fandom, all right? Specifically the Knicks fans. But the reason being is because now look you see them falling apart. You called it. You said it, right? You know what I mean? You got these guys when there's no cohesion, there's no synergy. You don't get good basketball. But the problem is now, a couple years ago, KD had opportunity to bring him here. Whether Dolan does a poor job at luring talent here is another thing. We can't control that unless he sells the place, right? So
but it's not even that anymore. It's not even that anymore. I don't think it's. Dan, I appreciate it, and we got to run actually. So thanks for the call. I think it just has more to do with continuing to build the reputation of the place being a good place to be. What they did this year is take too much out of what happened last year and let that influence their plan instead of just building toward the future in it. All right, that'll do it for me tonight. I will be in for Green Eat tomorrow morning along with Harry Douglas, and then back tomorrow night as well. My thanks to great Brian Mungia and Jake Montgomery, and also Frank Isola as well. Islanders hockey in Vancouver. Next, Carlin out.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with...
All right, Chris. Good stuff. You are now.
Erectile
All right,
dysfunction
boys.
and sick...
Have a good night, Chris.
Good job, guys.
Good job on the Rutgers win. That was nice.
That was a good win.
Nice.
Need that.
Medical.
Have a good night.
All right, guys. Be good.
Sounds good.